96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. Hospitals hit hard by industrial action, the public health system strained by the events of yesterday. The BUT president warning the government to settle disputes with teachers as some schools, represented by different unions, feel the impact. The latest of where things stand today, all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Duquesa Dean will be joining us. Also this morning, we are talking with the Securities Commission about fraud and scams. They're noticing an increase in these activities. What you need to know to protect yourself. That's coming up in business. That's all straight ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, strike action by affiliates of the Trade Union Congress leading to the closure of all government schools on Grand Bahama and putting the public health system in crisis mode. But Minister of Labor and Public Service Pia Glover-Roll said the impact was not as bad as it could have been thanks to the contingency efforts put in place to pick up the slack. Describing the situation or the impact as minimal, she said, quote, "We saw impacts in the public hospital system. We saw impacts in a small way with air traffic controllers. We did see some small impact in our schools, mostly on Grand Bahama, and 3 or 4 of our campuses here in New Providence. We're grateful for the support of the unions who spoke out, but fortunately it wasn't of a national or widespread level." Glover-Roll says about 80% of the Bahamas Doctors Union called in sick, 40% of the senior doctors and about 20% of nurses. She said 90% of air traffic controllers called in. Public Hospitals Authority Managing Director Abinette Roll said hospitals and clinics were strained, but plans were in motion to accommodate patients with urgent needs. Director of Immigration William Pratt said all immigration officers reported for work during the morning shifts at Lyndon Pindling International Airport and the port at Prince George Wharf. He said 9 officers with the Carmichael Road Detention Center called in, but they were able to bring in Defense Force officers to fill the gap. Education Minister Glenys Hanna Martin said the impact on schools in Grand Bahama was severe. She noted that the majority of administrators on the island are either part of the Bahamas Educators Managerial Union, BEMU, or BECAU, the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union, which are both affiliates of the TUC. Hannah Martin said 2 schools in New Providence had to close early yesterday due to challenges with some teachers who called in sick and administrators not being in position. On the Family Islands, there was no major impact. That strike action coming after TUC President Obie Ferguson said his members have not been able to get the respect and support necessary to resolve many of their labor issues. Last night, Ferguson said the action is not a strike, again calling it a rest day. He told the Nassau Guardian he was pleased with the response of workers. He said he's confident the outstanding matters between the unions and the government can be resolved. Meanwhile, Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson warning the Davis administration that it's time to address issues impacting the union's members, and that time is running out. Wilson said that one of the outstanding concerns is related to a memo from Financial Secretary Simon Wilson earlier this month, in which he said that no approvals will be given for salary adjustments for a period greater than 5 years. The BUT not taking part officially in that industrial action yesterday. Prime Minister Philip Davis has called on senior police officers and officials to aggressively tackle violent crime and dismantle criminal gangs. Davis said the government is fully committed to providing police the support needed to significantly reduce the number of murders recorded in the country this year. He made the charge during a meeting with the new leadership team of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. He said gangs are, quote, a cancer on our communities, preying on the vulnerable, fostering fear, and fueling violence. We will not tolerate their existence. Using the full strength of the anti-gang legislation, I expect a hard crackdown on these criminal networks. Last April, Parliament passed the anti-gang bill, which carries stiff penalties for people convicted of involvement in gang activity, including a possible $100,000 fine and a 25-year prison term. Investigations continue into the country's latest murder. A 27-year-old man fatally shot in the Big Pond area in the early hours of Monday, sparking that investigation. The shooting, the first for the year, the first fatal shooting for the year, occurred shortly after midnight outside a home on Lakeshore Drive off Tucker Road. Prosecutors discontinuing a case against a man accused of 5 counts of attempted murder. 23-year-old Dino LaFleur faced 5 counts of attempted murder and possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life in connection with the March 5th, 2021 shooting. He was expected to go to trial when he appeared before Justice Janine Weich Gomez yesterday. However, the matter was discontinued. LaFleur was alleged to be the gunman who opened fire on a car occupied by 5 women as it traveled east along 2nd Street in Coconut Grove. LaFleur was on remand for the incident after his bail was revoked for violating the conditions of his release. And a man who allegedly threatened his landlords, assaulted them, and caused thousands of dollars in damage to his rental home has been granted bail. At his arraignment before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley, Shaquille Douglas faced charges of assault with a dangerous instrument, threats of death, and causing damage. The charges stem from an incident that allegedly took place on August 31st last year at Cottonwood Street here in New Providence. Douglas allegedly assaulted his landlords with a hammer, threatened to kill them, and caused more than $2,500 damage to his apartment. He pleaded not guilty. His bail was set at $4,500. He's required to sign in at the police station on Fridays before 6 p.m. His trial is set for February 12th. Appearing in the same court, Wendisha Stewart, the 33-year-old, was ordered to attend anger management classes for 6 months after she pleaded guilty to assault with a dangerous instrument. On January 5th, Stewart threw a soda can at O'Neill Johnson during an argument. She will be liable to a fine of $500 or, in the alternative, 1 month in prison if she doesn't successfully complete the program. Overseas, additional water tankers and scores of firefighters have arrived at the Los Angeles area ahead of fierce winds that were forecast to return and threaten the progress made so far on 2 massive infernos that have destroyed thousands of homes and killed at least 24 people. Monday, planes doused homes and hillsides with bright pink fire-retardant chemicals, while crews and fire engines were being placed near particularly vulnerable spots with dry bush. Dozens of water trucks rolled in to replenish supplies after hydrants ran dry last week when the 2 largest fires erupted. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and other officials who faced criticism over their initial response expressed confidence yesterday that the region was ready to face the new threat, with additional firefighters brought in from around the U.S. as well as Canada and Mexico. Hamas has accepted a draft agreement for a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and the release of dozens of hostages. That's according to 2 officials involved in the talks. Mediator Qatar said the negotiations were at the closest point yet to sealing a deal. The Associated Press obtaining a copy of the proposed agreement, and an Egyptian official and a Hamas official confirmed its authenticity. An Israeli official said progress has been made, but the details are being finalized. The plan would need to be submitted to the Israeli cabinet for final approval. The United States, Egypt, and Qatar have spent the past year trying to mediate an end to the 15-month war and secure the release of dozens of hostages captured in Hamas's October 7, 2023 attack that triggered it. Some 100 Israelis are still captive inside Gaza, and the military believes at least a third of them are dead. Officials have expressed mounting optimism that they can conclude an agreement ahead of the January 20th inauguration of U.S. President Donald Trump, or President-elect Donald Trump, whose Mideast envoy has joined the negotiations. And the top aide of impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol pleaded with law enforcement agencies today to abandon their efforts to detain him over his imposition of martial law last month, as authorities prepared a second attempt to take him into custody. Presidential Chief of Staff Chung Jin-suk said Yoon could instead be questioned at a third site or at his residence, and said the anti-corruption agency and police were trying to drag him out like he was a member of a, quote, South American drug cartel. However, one of the president's lawyers said Chung issued the message without consulting them, and that the legal team had no immediate plan to make the president available for questioning by investigators. The president has not left his official residence in Seoul for weeks, and the Presidential Security Service prevented dozens of investigators from detaining him after a nearly 6-hour standoff on January 3rd. The Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials and police pledging more forceful measures to detain Yoon while they jointly investigate whether his brief martial law declaration on December 3rd amounted to an attempted rebellion. And the UN Migration Agency says internal displacement in Haiti, largely caused by gang violence, has tripled over the last year and now surpasses 1 million people, a record in the Caribbean nation. The International Organization for Migration reporting today that relentless gang violence in the capital of Port-au-Prince has fueled a near doubling of displacement and a collapse of healthcare and other services, worsening food insecurity at the same time. Haiti is one of the poorest countries in the world. According to the Geneva-based agency, the latest data reveals that 1,041,000 people, many displaced multiple times, are struggling amidst an intensifying humanitarian crisis. Children make up more than half of the displaced population. The figure marks a threefold increase in displacement from the 315,000 in December 2023. An agency spokesman saying that The forced return of around 200,000 people, mostly from neighboring Dominican Republic, over the last year has worsened the crisis. Both countries share the Caribbean island of Hispaniola. Suspects accused in the July 2021 assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse arrived Monday at a courthouse as defense attorneys hoped they would be released, but a judge postponed their hearing once again. The 17 Colombians, all former soldiers, along with 2 Haitians, waited for their hearing to start in a private residence in an upscale area in Haiti's capital because the surge in gang violence had forced officials to physically shut down the Court of Appeals in downtown Port-au-Prince. After several hours, a judge appeared and ordered the case postponed to later this month for unknown reasons. One lawyer for the 17 Colombians declined to say where the suspects she represents are currently being detained. Gangs raided Haiti's 2 biggest prisons nearly a year ago and released thousands of inmates, including those in the National Penitentiary, where suspects in the Moïse case are being held. The lawyer saying her clients didn't want to escape with the other inmates because they are not guilty and that they had nothing to do with the killing of Jovenel Moïse. Also at Monday's hearing were the former city of Jacmel mayor, Macky Kessa, and Joseph Badio, who once worked for Haiti's Ministry of Justice and had the government's anti-corruption unit until being fired for alleged ethics violations before the assassination. In sports, New York Yankees have secured contracts with Bahamian Jazz Jazz Chisholm Jr. and Devin Williams, ensuring their status on the team's 2025 roster. Both agreements avoid arbitration and bring stability to the critical areas of the team. As relates to Jazz, the Yankees' dynamic infielder agreed to a $5.85 million one-year deal. The 26-year-old was acquired from the Miami Marlins at the 2024 trade deadline. Chisholm quickly becoming a standout in New York, making history as the first Yankees player to hit 4 home runs in the first 3 games. In 46 games with the Yankees, he's delivered quite a bit, including 11 home runs, 23 RBIs, and 18 stolen bases. Chisholm transitioning to third base after joining the Yankees, a position he never played professionally. Despite the shift, he adapted quickly and solidified the Yankees' infield. Read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. And Danny Sumner continues to make inroads in bodybuilding and fitness in the country and in the region. Sumner, a former president of the Bahamas Bodybuilding and Fitness Federation, now the Bahamas Bodybuilding, Wellness, and Fitness Federation, has been appointed as an honorary patron of the Central American and Caribbean Bodybuilding and Fitness Federation. Read about that in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NFL, Sam Darnold trying to step up in the pocket to find a receiver, but there was nowhere to go, and the blue and yellow wall was too much as the Los Angeles Rams defense closed in quickly. Los Angeles, the football team, and the city having a rough week as wildfires have decimated large portions of the metro area. And the Rams having to play in their adopted home of State Farm Stadium in Arizona. Perhaps that's serving to help them decimate the Vikings 27-9 in a wild card playoff game. Moved to Arizona because of those LA wildfires. Minnesota had a chance to earn the NFC's top seed in the final game of the regular season, but Darnold struggled in the loss. And Detroit, his poor finish, raises questions about his long-term future with the Vikings after he played this season on a one-year deal. Meanwhile, from the NBA, the Lakers and the Clippers are set to return to their home courts after days away due to the fire devastation across the Los Angeles area. The Lakers and the Clippers both went back to work Monday night. The first two NBA games there since the fires devastated large parts of the area. The Lakers were beaten by the Spurs 126-102 in their downtown arena, while the Clippers beat the Miami Heat 109-98 in their brand new Intuit Dome in Inglewood, about 10 miles south of downtown LA. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a dissipating frontal boundary that continues to linger near the Turks and Caicos and the southern Bahamas. High pressure will dominate the weather across the rest of the islands. An area of low pressure in the eastern Gulf of Mexico will move across Florida today, dragging a frontal boundary into the Bahamas by this afternoon, early evening. High pressures that then going to build across the country behind the front for the remainder of the week. Small craft operators should exercise caution in Atlantic waters, and beachgoers and swimmers should remain alert as there is a risk for rip currents along north coast beaches in the northern Bahamas and along Atlantic exposures. Your forecast for today: for most areas, partly to mostly sunny, becoming partly cloudy tonight. Got a less than 10% chance of showers today, increasing to 10 to 20% by this evening as that front moves through, especially for the northern and northwest Bahamas. For the northern and northwest Bahamas, look for winds to be south to southwest at 10 knots ahead of the front, becoming northwest to north at 15 to 20 knots behind the front. For the rest of the country, the Central Islands, winds variable at 5 to 10 knots occasionally, east to southeast at 10 knots. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs getting up to around 78 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. By this evening, look for lows near 62 Fahrenheit, 16 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Cades Village, or call 396-1100.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
The Water and Sewage Corporation is rolling out new digital meters designed to give you more accurate readings. With advanced technology, you'll be able to monitor your water usage in real time, get more accurate bills and early leak detection to avoid costly surprises. Better service starts now. Watch for our installation team in your neighborhood and get ready to experience the convenience of digital meters. Follow us on our social media platforms for more information. Digital meters from the Water and Sewage Corporation. Innovative, convenient, and designed for you.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Float Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Duquesa Dean. Duquesa Dean, good morning.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday morning.
Same to you. Same to you. How's it going? How was your holiday weekend?
It was pretty quiet.
Yeah?
Nice and restful, peaceful, just like I like it. What about you?
Same.
Did you get to sleep? Rest? Switch off?
Sure. No more than usual.
Oh, I thought you would have
But no
gotten
less
some
than
extra.
usual. Not really.
Yeah, okay.
Not really. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
I don't know. I wouldn't know how to handle too much sleep. But hey, a lot going on in the country. A lot going on. We're going to get to all of that yesterday, tell you what happened yesterday with the industrial action. That we're expecting day 2 of that today. And boy, that's all ahead. And later in the show, in business, we're going to be talking with the Securities Commission of the Bahamas. They are noticing an uptick in fraud and scams. And we're going to talk to them about that and what you need to do to protect yourself. That's all ahead on this Tuesday morning. But let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, we are getting a clearer picture of what happened yesterday, day one of the industrial action from the unions under the TUC umbrella. That's the Trade Union Congress. And hospitals hit hard by this, and schools as well. As we were telling you yesterday, there are multiple unions representing educators. And so while the BUT, Bahamas Union of Teachers, led by Belinda Wilson, did not officially take part in the industrial action yesterday, there are other unions. There's the Educators Managerial Union and BECAWU, that's the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union, mainly out of Grand Bahama. And Grand Bahama impacted by that. We're going to get to that in a bit. But with the hospitals, public health strained. We told you this yesterday. A doctor messaged me, told me things are really bad. Lots of the doctors are out sick. I said, how bad is it? And the doctor said, bad. How bad? Wait till you hear these numbers in this report from our Vonique Toot.
Nearly all junior doctors called in on Monday, and more than half of senior physicians have called in as affiliates of the Trade Union Congress stage a two-day strike. Managing Director of the Public Hospitals Authority, Abinet Roll, says the public healthcare system has been impacted by the industrial action.
To date, we can say, based on the Bahamas' Doctors Union, which is the junior union, we've had 90% call-in of those physicians this morning. As it relates to the senior physicians, the CPSA, we've had 60% call in this morning. As it relates to the nursing staff, we've only had about 10%. In Grand Bahama, the total population there, 25% of them have called in. At Sandilands, 15% of them have called in.
Roll says senior executives are strategizing to ensure the delivery of healthcare services to the public. She added there were no issues with patients requiring admission or surgery.
I can say that the emergency room, thankfully, we just have a few patients who are waiting admissions within the two facilities, and we do have adequate bed spaces for them. From a surgical perspective, we've had no impact. We've have all of the anesthetists, all of the surgeons. So those persons who are requiring surgery today, we have no issues. We have specialized nurses and persons trained. We have pulled them from the other areas to be able to support the nurses. We're also grateful to retired nurses, retired TCNs and RNs who have come together to help us, and we have a pool formed to be able to facilitate for the next 48 hours.
However, she admits there is potential for a crisis to unfold.
We are in crisis, but we are making headroom to move forward. We have also collaborated with other stakeholders on the outside as partners to be able to assist us in those areas where we may lack the ability to do so in a timely manner. And so this is just the update that we want to give to the public, but to be reassured that all persons who need emergent care, the hospital is open. We have the capacity to care for you.
Roll urged individuals requiring non-urgent care to visit one of the various clinics. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonique Tood.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
So, that's a lot. That's a lot. 90% of junior doctors.
Yes, that's
in
a big
Nassau.
number.
It's a very big number. Yeah. And 60% of the consultant physicians. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Again, we were saying we urged people to be very careful yesterday. That's a lot to ask them, but don't get yourself hurt.
No
Don't-
emergencies.
Please, for the love of God, stay still if you must.
I mean, the hospital is already strained. To
On a
add
good day.
this, right? To add this on top of that now that's a lot.
Definitely. So that's the hospitals. And as you heard, I think you heard in the report, in terms of Grand Bahama, 25% of the medical professionals were out. Sandilands here in Nassau, 15%. But definitely PMH sounds like it got it, and perhaps the clinics. Yeah. So there was more yesterday, of course, and our Travis Cartwright Carroll in today's Nassau Guardian outlining this. So strike action by affiliates of the TUC, the Trade Union Congress, led to the closure of all government schools in Grand Bahama and put the public healthcare system into crisis mode. But Minister of Labor and Public Service Pia Glover-Roll says the impact was not as bad as it could have been, thanks to the contingency efforts put in place to pick up the slack. She said, quote, "We saw impacts in the public hospital system. We saw impacts in a small way with air traffic controllers. We did see some small impact in our schools, mostly Grand Bahama school campuses, and 3 or 4 of our campuses here in New Providence. We're grateful for the support of the unions who spoke out, but fortunately it wasn't of a national or widespread level." Glover Roll says about 80% of the Bahamas Doctors Union called in sick, 40% of the senior doctors. A little different numbers there, but anyway, a good number called in, and about 20% of the nurses. Okay. She said 90% of air traffic controls called in. 90%?
Wow. And she feels that this is
90.
minimum?
Okay. She said, quote, "We did have contingencies in place so that even though the percentages were as they were, we were able to still continue with business as usual for the most part. Of course, there was some disruption." As you heard already, PHA, the Public Hospitals Authority Managing Director Abinette Roll, said hospitals and clinics were strained, but plans were in motion to accommodate patients in urgent needs. She said the surgical, there was no impact from a surgical perspective, and that they have specialized nurses and persons trained, and they were able to pull from those areas. Now, Director of Immigration William Pratt said all immigration officers reported for work during the morning shifts at Lyndon Pindling International Airport and at the port at Prince George Wharf. He said 9 officers with the Carmichael Road Detention Center called in, but they were able to bring in Defense Force officers to fill the gap. Minister of Education Glenn Santa Martin said the impact on schools on Grand Bahama was severe. She noted that the majority of teachers and administrators on the island are either part of BEMU, that's the Bahamas Educators Managerial Union, or the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union. They call themselves BECAWU, which are both affiliates of the TUC. Hannah Martin saying early in the day, quote, "I'm advised by the Director of Education that because of the state of the impact, we're going to have to close schools early. It's very unfortunate because students have already lost many, many hours of instruction during the pandemic, and we are still playing catch-up." She said 2 schools in New Providence had to close early due to challenges with some teachers who called in sick and administrators not being in position. On the Family Islands, she said, there was no major impact. But Grand Bahama, of course, being the hardest hit. There are 15 schools on the island. The strike action came after TUC President Obie Ferguson said his members, quote, "have not been able to get the respect and support necessary to resolve many of their labor issues." Ferguson is again telling everyone that this is not a strike, but a rest day.
What?
That's what they were saying yesterday as well.
Oh, it's mental health rest.
Well, I don't know. Just,
it's not a strike. We're just resting.
He told the National Guardian he was pleased with the response of the workers. Ferguson said he is confident the outstanding matters between the unions and the government can be resolved. He said, quote, "I think we need to be sensible and sit down and discuss how best to resolve these matters. I don't need to have an industrial action and all that." I don't need to have industrial action and all that? Okay. He noted that the TUC affiliates that participated in the strike include the Consultant Physician Staff Association, the Bahamas Doctors Union, the Bahamas Nurses Union, the Bahamas Customs, Immigration, and Allied Workers Union, the Bahamas Air Traffic Controllers Union, the Bahamas Education Managerial Union, the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union, and the Bahamas Public Officers Union. Ferguson has said that he's not heard from the Prime Minister or his office and added the action will resume today as planned, although we heard over the weekend the Prime Minister was trying to reach Ferguson. Now, asked what message the participating workers are sending, Ferguson said, quote, "They send a clear message that they are Bahamians and they are entitled to be treated properly. They are entitled to be treated with respect. They earn a salary, an agreement was negotiated, the terms of the agreement have been completed, and therefore they expect to be paid and paid forthwith."
Oh.
Meanwhile, Glover Roll urging Ferguson to return to the negotiation table. She said, quote, "I had, as the Minister of Labor, the quarterly meeting with the unions on the week of December 16th, and when we closed the meeting, that wasn't the tone that the TUC left with. With our physicians, there were 4 issues that were outstanding in their agreement. Out of all of the other issues, there were 4 that were left to be negotiated, 3 of which were agreed by the Prime Minister, and 1 was still in financial review. So we are seeing that progress is being made. Yes, we understand that some things take a little longer than others, but once we move away from the table, we place it in a stalemate. We have to continue the dialogue. That's from Pia Glover Old there. Okay. Well, and again, more of it today. Quite something. Let's hear from you about it. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free. 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Dwight, I'm your guest also, Dwight. Dwight, Saturday, I had a harrowing experience on this little island, 21 by 7. Went out for an evening ride, Dwight. Came down Robertson Road when coming back home. Stop on the traffic line on the road just before you reach Robertson Road and East Street, light headed west. All of a sudden, from behind, I was rammed by a very large black, look like SUV vehicle. Bam! We stopped. The driver of the car behind us screamed out, "Don't move! Don't move!" I guess he was maybe figuring we got whiplash. He came around to my driver's side, and he told us not to move. He pulled off, looked like he was going to park on the sidewalk. All of a sudden, we saw his lights change, and he pulled off and went down Robertson Road, left us behind. From there, we decided to call the police. We were told to go to the police up on East West Highway by Simeon Hall's Church. Gave the report and everything. Issued to the public hospital, the PMH. They didn't even have no wheelchairs to let us get out of the car and get in. We took 8 hours before we saw the first doctor. From there, we went in to see a second examining doctor. It was another 6 hours before we saw that doctor. Then we were issued to register to take x-rays. Took about 3 hours to see that area. Went to take the x-rays, didn't take long, the CT scans, everything. We went through the whole system. Dwight ended up to the last doctor's examination. Dwight, we were there the whole night, 24 hours. Didn't leave the hospital until close to 7 o'clock Sunday evening. Dwight, we saw doctors leave, go home, and come back for the next shift. We only saw the doctors, and every doctor served us by themselves. Didn't have no assistant nurses. Gave us reports to carry back to the police, as well as reports to go and do some physiotherapy. I ended up finding out that I had a fractured left shoulder. I can hardly lift my hand over my head. We don't know when we're going to find out from the police about the hit and run driver to get my vehicle repaired or whatever it is. We don't know if the person is licensed or insured. We know nothing to this date. That happened last Saturday. And Dwight, there was no assisting nurses helping the doctors. The first doctor that we saw Saturday evening actually came back to work Sunday morning, went out and bought us that were waiting all night McDonald's to eat breakfast. The doctor went out and got something for us to eat.
That was nice.
That's how terrible it is at the PMH hospital 51 years after independence. The money that we spent on taxes, we are still going through this while our leaders, religious, social, And political leaders travel and party all over the world. Every time we see them, they stood up and party and having a good time. The Bahamian people are suffering. Not all of us are doing bad. We got a few millionaires made it to the top. We got Bahamians in the first time of my 73 years on this little 21 by 7, every day walking down Woodford to go to look for corned beef and white rice for breakfast, while the elite and the few handful of rich party. Something has to change in this country. Instead of yellow shirt and red shirt, something has to change, Dwight. 24 hours, and none of us even had a cut on us. Not a cut on us, but to go through the system to get everything reported properly, to protect your family and yourself. And now I got to pay, if that guy is not licensed or insured, to repair my own vehicle.
Yeah. That's a horrible story, Sparky.
Yeah, so sorry
glad that
that
you are
happened to
okay,
you.
I
Yeah.
think. But wow, terrible and a very common story.
That's right.
Sadly.
That's what's so sad, that it's just, I don't think anyone is shocked at what he shared. It's just common. And to imagine that was not even rest day.
Wow. All right. So imagine if that had happened yesterday. Oh boy, he'd still be there now.
Yeah.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
Calling for peace in the land. Peace in the land. Peace. We need some peace. But it's one of those ticklish situations. Labor need to be served right and get their pay. But we can do without industrial actions because the suffering is hard on the people. So it's a catch-22 situation. And I'm hoping that today will be a better day.
Yeah, we will keep you posted. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, some strong messages are being sent, so I don't know. Let's take another call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
I call it days of stacking away so long with you, and I want to forget the lady name. But I call it day to you.
Duquesa.
Dwight, it's hardly anybody, it seems, really wanted to build this country, the Bahamas. Okay? Other thing is, right, several days ago, I came home, I was unlocking my door, right? One stupid boy came, and I always call the police for him, came in the back of me and hit me on my shoulder bone with a hammer.
What?
Yes. I went to the police, and you think they had done anything? They had done nothing. But let that were me, do something to somebody, they would have taken a delight in locking me up. Somebody, we gotta, it seems as though we gotta do our own justice in the Bahamas today.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
nothing.
no, not really. But I hope that gets resolved. I hope
Yes,
that gets
definitely.
resolved. Let me ask you something. Can I join the TUC today? Can I?
Are you in the
I need a
field?
rest day.
Well, I don't think you need to join a union for that.
No? Okay. All right. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi. Good morning. Are you there? Good morning, caller. Okay, call us back. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Toll free 242-300-5720. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
Morning.
Hey, what's happening, Dwight?
We are here.
One of you and your guys, boy, Dwight, look like we're in a crisis again.
Again or
my thing to you,
as
Dwight,
usual?
is
Right.
how are we going to fix these issues, man? These issues between the unions and the government. Sometimes I wonder, right? Now, I would hate to believe this, Dwight. You think these strikes are political? Like to say, okay, we have some disgruntled F&Ms in government ministries, so they are the ones who are going to call out and create this strike? I would hate to believe that.
I'm sure it's possible. But people know elections are coming up, and elections coming up. This is a great time to
but
push your luck.
The thing about it is, the unions and the government, they got to be able to come to some civil resolution, man. Because at the end of the day, the people, the union got to understand their own people who depending on the services that we're paying them for, we are suffering. And the government got to understand the people who voted for them to put them in power, they are suffering. This is a complex situation.
Not really. It's not. It's not really. This is how it works. This is how it has worked from the beginning of capitalism, in the absence of slavery, where people are working for salaries. Okay. That's how it is. It happens. France every week. The U.S. It happens. This is how it works. So if you want it resolved, the government works quickly to meet the needs, or at least come halfway. So this is what they do. Hopefully, we were lucky yesterday. Nobody got hurt. Hopefully, it'll be quick and painless today, and hopefully they'll get back to the negotiation table and work on these issues.
My last point, Dwight. We gotta come up with some solution, Dwight, man. Come on, man. I don't know. What's your solution? I don't know. I
solution
feel
to what?
At the end of the day, right? The unions gotta understand the Bahamas. We are not running a profitable country. I mean,
well, that's the challenge.
From an economic standpoint.
See, that's the challenge because
running a deficit. And these people just expect the government just to dish out monies and give them monies and this and that. And then I understand.
All right, so you got to listen. Give me a second. So that's the challenge, right? So they are watching the same things we all see.
Right.
The videos that people make and where people go and how much money is being spent.
They live in.
And they're like, wait a minute. You're doing this, you're bragging about this, you're here with that person, you're here over there, you're traveling over the world, and yet you claim you can't pay me for what I already did. So that's why they have a problem with it.
Right, and they're not asking for something that's not due to them. They're not asking for the government to just throw money at them. This is like they're at the bargaining table. This is standard. This is like people have rights too.
And they're saying these are things that were already agreed to, things that were promised, and you never delivered. So this is why they're acting up.
Dwight, I understand, right? And we should not accept a dictator of that, right? I agree. But, boy, I don't know, man. The union and the government got to come together, and they got to make this way. I don't know what's the government solution. What would you think the government solution is? To just sit down and give the unions everything they ask for? Do you think that's their solution?
Negotiate.
That's what negotiations
Don't make this more than it is.
That's right. That's what negotiations are for.
I feel like you're trying to make this a whole lot worse than it is. Again, this happens. This happens. It's not the end of the world. And people will say, okay, we can't allow that to happen again, and let's see if we can give them a little more or get them to agree to allow us to get to this point. That's how it works. You don't want to get to this point, but the ceiling is not, sometimes the ceiling is caving in some of these places, but let's all be rational and reasonable here. Calm down. Okay, let's take a few more calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Miss Dean.
Good morning. How are you?
My baby sister. Anyway, Dwight, to start the second day of strike, right? Mm-hmm. I get a call from the dialysis section in the Princess Margaret Hospital at 5:51 this morning. Mm-mm. All the nurses, except one foreign nurse, calling sick.
Oh, boy.
You see?
Yeah.
They said to tell you all to call the trail man to tell his boss to find the necessary nurses that they need in dialysis at Princess Margaret. That is the beginning of what's happening on day 2 of this cycle.
Yeah.
You all have a nice day.
Wow. That's rough. That's very rough. Wow. That's very rough. Yeah. Boy, oh boy.
Wow.
You don't want to hear stuff like that.
Yeah, that's so critical.
But
wow.
Let's take another call. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight, and good morning, DeQuesta.
Good morning.
Dean.
Hi.
Yes, my brother and my sister. Let me tell you all something, Dwight. You hear a guy talking all that mess just a while ago. The government went and gathered up these unions right, before our last general election, to try to get them on their side to become the government. After becoming the government, the very same government decided that they're going to drag their foot, dodge, duck, hop around the place, travel, eat caviar, buy new BMWs, and then rejected the needs of the Bahamian people again, right? So, and here's the deal. In about a couple, they plan to solve this problem, but the way these people are so antiquated, right? What they are planning, they normally start these problems and then they run, and they run swiftly to try to correct it, and then they want you to praise them for doing so. But whilst the people are suffering, they don't want you to say anything. But the minute they decide to solve the problem they created, then they are the good cop. But at the end of the day, this government needs to stop playing on the emotions of the Bahamian people, because at the end of the day, they're not just harming the workers. They are harming the workers' family and everything what is involved with their existence. But this is a long fetch situation, and they really need to stop taking advantage of the Bahamian people. And as it relates to the hospital, hey, Sparky, my brother, I had the experience, and most Bahamians would go inside that accident of no emergency, right? Because that's what they need to call it. It ain't no emergency going there, right?
Oh,
you could
boy.
literally sit right in that place and die because of the type of service what you get inside that place. And our leaders, they don't go there, so they don't really care. Guys, have a nice day.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Oh, well. Wow. 6 more calls before you have to take a break. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How are you doing?
Doing well. Turn on your radio for us, please.
Man, it's disheartening just now as I heard that call at the end and talk about the state of the hospital. Because I myself, my mother died literally just sitting in the waiting room in an accident emergency. They're waiting on service. But what I called for was to thank you. Thank you for being here at some of our most critical times where we can vent and digest and dissect the issues. I don't know if people really understand how much this helps us to be able to have an outlet to voice our concerns and what this does for us as a people on a daily basis. And so I wanted to take the time out this morning to thank you and all of your guests and Guardian Radio for the work that you guys do there and being an outlet for us as a people. To do this every day, people have no understanding what goes into it. And so I just wanted to take the time to thank you on behalf of the Bahamian people, Dwight. You do an excellent job inside there. And we miss you when you're not there. You have great fillers, but I just wanted to take the time to really say thank you to you for getting us through this national strike and so many other pivotal issues and helping us to really have a place of calm and to be able to digest the issues. Thank you and Guardian Radio, man.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Again,
Aw, how sweet.
the saying is not a national strike. It's
a rest day. It's not a strike.
It's serious industrial action.
Yeah.
Quite serious. And boy, oh boy. All right. We got some interesting messages coming in. We'll get to those in a bit, but let's continue with the calls. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning.
Yeah, listen, what has to happen is the government has to show prudency in their spending and trying to save money. But if they are not doing that, then the Bahamian people are going to say, well, if you're not doing it, why are you holding funds back from us? Because, for instance, the minister, Glover, said that they're going to cut back on renting buildings, right? So they cancel contracts, but now they're going into new contracts. Where are we saving? The government has to be the first one to show that, hey, we are cutting back on our spending so we can prove to you guys that things are bad. But if you're not cutting back, how could you tell the Bahamian people to cut back? So they have to show an example.
Yeah.
And I'm very disappointed in the Minister Glover saying one thing and then they're doing the next. It has to stop. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. And again, that's going to be a big problem there. People are seeing something very different from what they're saying.
Correct.
And everybody's recording every single
Right.
thing they do and
Did you
say.
not-
And
right.
just
Like that's common sense to
flaunting
just
it.
be mindful of what you do. and represent what you say. Like,
While so many unanswered questions about
Correct.
deals that have been made.
And people's lives, like people are,
And yet
you know,
you're out there partying and enjoying all kinds of special gifts and all manner of nonsense.
even if it's like, oh, it's a trending thing, or even if it's like, just be
Especially
mindful.
if it's a
because
trending
it's
thing.
The
Don't
message,
do it.
right? Like, have common sense.
Don't
Like,
do it. You need to work with these people, DeQuessa. You
Huh?
need to work with these people.
They don't want it.
Clear.
They need it, but they will be the very ones to tell you they don't have a budget for training and development.
Well, if you feel like you want to do something, don't, or think 3 times.
Right. Right.
Or call.
And many of them need to have like a personal branding coach, or many of them need to have that somebody that's going to say, hey, this is going to impact your in this
Don't
way,
ask.
that way,
Don't
that
ask
way,
your friend
that
who
way.
you made your
No,
whatever press
No,
secretary. I don't know what they call them, but because they're just going to tell you yes, it's great.
Especially if they don't understand the role that you fill and the responsibilities and what the image of that should consistently be.
Call somebody at Guardian Radio. We generally like to
Call Dwight.
tell you the truth.
He'll tell you.
Like, that's stupid.
Call me.
You're an idiot. Don't do it.
I'll be a little softer than Dwight.
No, don't be soft with that. I mean, do you have any sense at all? Why would you go to this? Why would you record that? Why would you press send?
Why would you be to some of those functions?
What are you doing?
Like, why not decline? Why not be busy? Why not your agenda be full? Like, why go?
Like, do you know who I am? I'm very busy. I cannot attend that. How dare you even ask me?
Wow.
But anyway, good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Good morning, Bahamas. You know, Dwight, let me make my fighting this morning. When I pray to my God, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I pray to God to keep me healthy, keep my family healthy. And what the caller saying, when you go in the hospital, you're dead. You go in the healthy, you come with dead. I don't know the hospital. See, we need to fix this country, Dwight. And this is why I keep telling you, this is why I like Donald Trump. Every time I watch the news, I can make America great again. I cut in taxes. I fix my border. Bring the jobs back. See, that's what strong leaders do.
Well, let's see if you can say that in 2 years. But yes,
That's
I
what,
hear you.
right? That's what strong leaders do. They love their country and they love the people. And I see Donald Trump even love God now. I ain't mind what people say. I watch all the news. See, let me tell you something. I believe Leonard and a man can make a good prime minister. Because she loves the Bahamian people, you know. She loves her people, and she loves them all. So I see we need to fix this country. The Bahamas is a rich country. I see, but so Lyndon Pinnon was a lawyer. Mr. Christie was a lawyer. Mr. Davis was a lawyer. And these lawyers got this country messed with up, you know. If they're so smart, why we all this debt? Why we paying up the debt? We that get out of Hawksville agreement. Who go on and sign it back over? See, Dwight, we need to try some of these people for treason and hang them out, Dwight. We need to hang some of these people. We need to set an example. 80% of members of parliament ain't bringing that parliament today. They ain't declared. They ain't doing nothing. So, God, open up people line out, Dwight. And you know what, Dwight, please, man, let's keep the question these people ask and ask them the hard question, man. Because they want it hot, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Sounds like you are. You need to calm down. Some of those things are kind of a little out there that you were saying, but okay. All right. Boy. You want to take the... Yes, let's take these calls really quickly. These folks have been on the line for a bit. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning to you, and good morning to the Quessa.
Good morning.
Good morning, C. Allen Johnson. Dwight, first of all, we seem to have missed what the century is, and let me just go back. I agree. This is not a strike based on what the description came from the TUC leadership. They're maintaining that it's a 2-day sick day off. So I'm assuming that they have not utilized their strike certificates as of yet. The National Congress of Trade Unions has strike certificates. The Bahamas National Alliance of Trade Union Congress has, that's Belinda Wilson, has their own certificates. The problem we are encountering, and it's part of in the messaging, is where Simon Lewis already said, all of the entitlements you had from 5 years or longer ago, we ain't paying you. It's not on our list. Okay? You're entitled to it. This should not be an option. So we have to then begin to look at the truth of the matter is this is a financial problem that the government is experiencing. And this is where the failure for transparency and accountability and freedom of information comes from. I think it's incumbent upon the government to tell us what is it that it owes these unions cumulatively, going back to whatever time it is, and for us to look at maybe putting out a bond or something to put it as part of the process. It's our national debt, whether we want to admit it or not. It's the same concept with the $4 billion in pension that we don't see on any books because it's paid from the fund, from the consolidated fund every month. And so and then you go to BPL or BEC or whatever you want to call it. That's another group of liability that surpasses $1 billion. And it's like we're not having a conversation of where we are so we can plot a path of where we want to go.
Okay.
This is where the conversation then switches to how do you address this issue? The only way is to grow the economy. And we're not having that conversation of how do we grow the economy that most impactfully touches people's personal economy. The economy grows continuously, but the personal economy of behemoths are not growing, and that's where government gets its tax from. And so there is models out there, but it seems as if our leadership are so busy dealing with yesterday, no one can focus on tomorrow. And we need that conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you very much. And this call before we go to the break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there? No? Okay, let's go to the break. When we come back, we've got your text messages to go to, and there's a lot more to talk about with the industrial action. A whole lot more to talk about on this Tuesday morning. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
I'm taking care of business, woman, can't you see? I gotta make it for you, and I gotta make it for me. Oh, sometimes it seems, girl, I'm neglecting you. Well, I love to spend more time. I got so many things to do. Oh, I got work to do. I got work, babe. I got work to do. I got a job, babe. I got work to do. I got work to do. I got work to do.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
It is time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. In your traffic alert, there's some paving work going on that you need to know about. This is roadworks on Cowpen Road from Blue Hill Road heading west to Vinspin Road. So this work is going to take place between 9:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. daily, beginning today through Friday, 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. You want to avoid that area of Cowpen Road, beginning at Blue Hill Road to Vinspin Road. If you can, avoid the area or follow the posted traffic signs. That's, again, starting today. In your real-time traffic, at this hour, we've got pretty much the same, the usual hot spots. You've got Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic from about St. Vincent, and then picking up again near Carmichael. If you're heading northbound, you're going to see that straight up to Independence Drive. Carmichael backed up eastbound to Blue Hill Road, heading in that direction. And Independence Drive westbound to the Blue Hill Road roundabout, heavy traffic there. Tonic Williams Darling Highway, you're going to be seeing slow-moving westbound traffic to the Bahamas Games Boulevard roundabout, and then traffic picks up again and slows down a lot as you get closer to Milo Butler Highway. Heavy traffic from Fire Trail straight up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway, northbound right now. Gladstone Road is busy for you as well, from south of Fire Trail straight up to JFK Drive if you're heading northbound at this hour. Slow-moving westbound traffic on Carmichael to Coral Harbor Road, Prince Charles Drive, and Robinson Road. Very slow-moving westbound traffic. East and west of Beatrice Avenue, if you're heading westbound, straight through to Robinson Road, all the way up to Marathon East-West Highway. And Eastern Road, you're not moving from east of San Souci to Johnson Road if you're heading westbound at this hour. Burner Road busy for you as well, especially as you get closer to the Soldier, Wolf, and Village Road intersection right now. That's what we're looking at. We'll have another update for you in just a bit, but Morning Blend traffic brought to you by RBC, reminding you that you can start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. And time for another check for your weather for today. We've got a dissipating frontal boundary that continues to linger near the Turks and Caicos and the southern Bahamas. High pressure dominates the weather across the rest of the country, but an area of low pressure in the eastern Gulf of Mexico is going to move across Florida today and drag a frontal boundary into the Bahamas by late this afternoon, early this evening. High pressure is going to build behind that, and that's going to dominate weather across the country for the remainder of the week. So for now, smallcraft operators should exercise caution in Atlantic waters. Beachgoers and swimmers should be alert along north beaches in the northern Bahamas and along Atlantic exposures. For most of the country today, we're looking at partly to mostly sunny conditions, becoming partly cloudy tonight. As that front moves through, we'll see a slight increase in the chance of showers by this evening. Temperatures today, look for highs around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius, even possibly a bit warmer ahead of that front. Behind the front, lows dipping into the low 60s, 62 Fahrenheit, 16 Celsius, around that. In your extended outlook for Wednesday tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, a 20% chance of a few spotty showers. That pattern holding for Thursday. And by Friday, partly sunny during the day, becoming fair at night. And some pretty cool temperatures coming as the front moves through fully and reinforcing fronts as well. So that's what's ahead for the remainder of the week. That's your Morning Blend weather. We'll be back with more Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9 in just a bit.
Your health just got brighter with Lamp Insured. Sign up for Doctors Hospital's Lamp Insurance Supplement Plan and enjoy copay waivers and complete access with no upfront ER or inpatient collections. Only $30 per month. Visit doctorshosp.com/lamp to sign up or contact 242-822-1009. That's 242-822-1009. Your journey to affordable and worry-free healthcare begins now.
Pender is carrying a new line of tile, the Sky series of porcelain. Comes in 4 colors, tones, and shades. There's Sky Noir, Sky Azure, Sky Glance, and this one, Sky Gris. Sky Gris, as you'd imagine, gives you a smoky kind of feel. It's not heavy and depressing, but gives the area a chill feeling. The Sky series comes in 2 formats, 24 by 24 at $5.30 a square foot, 12 by 24 at $5.25 a square foot. I really like this series for big spaces, and being porcelain, they can take a lot of traffic. The Sky series at Pender Tile.
The holidays are here, and Dunkin' is spreading the cheer this season. Let Dunkin' be a part of your celebrations. Warm up with your favorite holiday drinks, grab a box of our famous donuts for your gatherings, or treat someone special to a Dunkin' gift certificate, the gift that always runs on joy. From our Dunkin' family to yours, we wish you a season filled with laughter, love, and a whole latte happiness. Happy holidays! And remember, the Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, buddy. The Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow behemoth businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, buddy? Oh, yeah. Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things saying do? What does do? Check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express. Or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit CFAL.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean. Lots of work to do, but will anyone be doing it today? At many of the unions affiliated with the Trade Union Congress. If today is like yesterday, it's going to be a challenging one
day.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a lot of your messages to get to. You can continue to call in as well. 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let me read these messages, then we'll get to the callers. Okay, so this person says here, I never understood how come all these persons in unions and the casino workers are fighting to be, what is this word? Is this, oh my goodness, is it banished? Banished from the kingdom, banished from thy kingdom come, and can't go in the union, yet doctors, nurses, and all uniform branches are in the union. What? They have their priorities in the wrong place. Casino money means more to them than healthcare. What? What's happening? I don't understand your text. Okay. Dwight, after 50 years of independence, the Bahamas should no longer rely on the government as the largest employer. You think it's by choice? Okay, anyway. Too many union issues are consuming valuable time with the government spending excessive resources negotiating contracts. To foster growth and reduce inefficiency, more industries should be privatized, allowing the government to focus on critical development areas rather than ongoing labor disputes. What do you want privatized? The Ministry of Health?
Right.
I don't understand what you're saying. The
housing
utilities
or,
is not what's the electricity and water are the only ones not the airline. I mean, that's not the issue. A lot of these are people working for the ministries and departments that you don't really privatize those. And like everything's hunky-dory.
I just want to say that exact same thing.
The abuse, no matter what these people say, if these people who are maybe not the doctors, I think they're going through a lot, and the nurses. But if most of these people knew what was going on, most of the private companies around here, boy.
I mean,
you know, Duquesa.
Yeah, you have it's intention to build a culture that makes employees really want to jump up and get to work. You know. It's takes intention.
But people, and because there is no union, people have to tolerate and put up with a lot of stuff. And there's nothing they can say or do, or they will be thrown away. It's not quite the same where there is a union.
Right.
You have to be very careful in that type of environment. So, I mean, it just depends on where you think the priority should lie. Whether you have a company that treats you in a very special way. I'm trying to edit what I'm saying. Or where you actually feel like you have rights and can't be trampled on.
Well, and it exists in both private and public.
Yeah. Oh, boy. On this text here, the pendulum has swung hard and unforgivingly against the PLP. The people are tired, disillusioned, and fed up with empty promises and failed leadership. The writing is on the wall. The clock is ticking louder and louder with every passing years into administration in this country. We say the same thing. We said this 7 years ago. It's the same thing over and over.
And but I think that's because this huge, massive elephant that we face, the things that are necessary to tackle it, no administration really wants to do. Right? It's going to inconvenience the people. It's going to be, a sore point for the people. They're more concerned about making sure they can get reelected than actually, and this is any government, than actually doing what is necessary to streamline ministries, to have productive employees, to bring results, be financially prudent, all of this sort of stuff. Like that's going to be at a major cost.
We saw that within the first year of this administration, all those voice notes and videos about, you know what I did for this government, I did what I did for this, and they do that for me. And every year it's the same story. It's so repetitive. This is
and
painful.
Then us too, like as the people that vote, our voting strategies have to change. And it can't just be a what's in it for me, baby type consideration. It has to be what's good for this country.
Okay.
I mean, I just
when do you
that,
think?
that's
You're
how-
right. You're right.
I mean,
when is that going to happen?
but that's what needs to happen so that we could move forward. If we are not willing to make those sorts of decisions, then we are intentionally choosing to stay, all of us, citizens that vote and the governments that we put in. If we're not making the type of decisions that will bring change, then we just need to be silent and let the country rot.
Oh wow! Well, that's happening. It's very sad, but the people don't want it. They just want, as you said, my time.
Yeah.
Very, very unfortunate. This person says here, Dwight Duquesa, while nurses are on strike, we're drowning in bills. Murder rate increasing. Well, we're doing kind of okay so far this year. But anyway, kids going missing. TB outbreaks. What now? The PM is partying in the red room with celebrities. Yikes. And eating caviar. You all need to stop running out. He does not. Whoa. This government is for foreigners only, even building headquarters in the. This is a lot of crazy stuff. A lot of crazy talk. Also, that club on PI needs to open the beach access to us Bahamians. What are we talking about? They have no right to lock us out. Who? I mean, we need to start throwing chairs and riot. What?
What riots? What's too destructive and extreme?
Are we in the same country? What are they talking about?
But I wonder what he's talking about. I want to know what he's talking about with the beach closure, though. Can you text us, send us a text back and let us know what you're talking about?
On this text, we need more foreign nurses and doctors on an on-call basis from places like Cuba that can be one flight away.
Really? Really? What we need to do is pay the nurses and doctors that we currently have.
Y'all are funny.
That's what even our nurses are leaving. Our skilled workers are choosing not to come home, or if they can have an opportunity to leave home and work other places.
But this same person will be the one complaining about
Right.
how you go to the hospital and they
And
only
they know
speak in
English,
Spanish
right?
and no one said
Right.
anything. And I
No,
was telling
we
them I was
need
in
to
pain.
take care of the citizens that work in those industries and make it attractive for them to be there. The sacrifice of being in a hospital with 2 or 3 nurses trying to take care of you, the strain that's put on them as individuals. I mean, if you were an employee, the customers, and there should be 10 of you and you're the only person there, how would you feel? Like, we have to start putting our feet in other people's shoes. We talk about the slow service at the hospital. Like, what's at the root of that? Right? So we have to give people, the fair opportunities to shine at what they do.
Yeah. They go on to say, not to say that the nurses shouldn't get what they deserve, but while y'all are arguing over money and promotions, people are losing their mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters.
And that's true.
All right. Oh my goodness. Okay. Tell the casino workers they aren't unionized because they refuse. Oh, that's what that person said.
Oh,
the union
the casino.
needs to,
Okay.
okay. Because they refuse to give money. The money's too sweet to pay the dues, I guess. Same for the offshore bank workers. Money's too sweet. On another note, can Belinda call in to explain the letter received from the financial secretary? I think she's already talked about that quite a bit, actually. But Dwight, I'm in the security field. I wish we were unionized. Boy. And this texter says, so why is the government threatening the stores with fines for having plastic bags when the government that's allowing the same plastic bags in the country? What do you mean by that? Aren't
Well, they gotta
customers
get in.
responsible? I mean,
They got to get in. How are you shipping them in? How are you shipping them? Point
You got
exactly.
guns
Point
all
but
over the place.
Point exactly.
So,
if
I
there's a
mean,
ban on it,
you could get
right?
anything
That speaks
in here.
volumes. That speaks
That does-
volumes.
people, what? You don't know where people are hiding those things. Come on.
They're not hiding them. They're bringing them in plain sight. They
You think
just
so?
And they're hiding the money that they're slipping you to allow it to come in.
Wow, that's a very okay. So the texter comes back. Ocean Club on PI has locked the beach access again, weeks and weekends and holidays. The people there are looking like how this slave got here for some reason.
Oh, wow.
All in caps. I don't know what's happening. Government needs to stand for the country, not money first. Okay. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi.
I forgot to tell you something this morning. Dwight, after all you go through with that PMH thing I told you about, then it comes down to your physiotherapy, right, Dwight? Let me tell you something, Dwight. When do you think, this is Jeremy, when do you think you can get your first appointment for physiotherapy?
Next year.
No, not that far. About September the 28th.
Pretty much
that
next
may as
year.
well be next
You
year.
gotta now you're injured now.
Yes.
You went through the PMH up at the main hospital on Shady Street. Now you gotta go Centerville to physiotherapy. You get it there around September.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you something, Dwight, that a lot of Bahamians don't know. Dwight, most of us go to the dentist, right? We have over 100 dentists in this country. When I came on the league government in 1970, my first job, technical job, was at Caribbean Dental Lab. Other than dentistry, when the dentist do the work in your mouth, there's something he calls dental lab work, where if they're replacing your crown, they will grind down the natural teeth, get the decayed portion out, and then they'll send what they call an impression to the lab. The lab then takes that impression with wax and different chemicals. They make a false tooth and send it back to the dentist. Put it back in there with a little glue, and then you see a beautiful white or gold tooth right there in your mouth. You can't tell the difference between real or artificial. Do you know all the 100 dentists in this island, there's only one dental lab here?
Oh, boy. Okay.
Wow.
Well, so I can't take a rest day. That's what you're telling me.
You can.
I really think.
You can.
Obi, come for me. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning. No. All right. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Toll free, 242-300-5720. There's a text. We still need more doctors and nurses, regardless if you pay Bahamians more.
We do need.
Wake up. The workers don't want biweekly payment. Leave it to monthly. Move on. Okay. So earlier, I stopped myself from reading text about we need to riot. This person says, but why not riot, Dwight? We've been long. If I were a younger person, I would be leading strikes myself against complete abuse of our public treasury spending. Well, I do have an answer. I mean, when you do, generally, who suffers the most during those type of riots? It's the people who are suffering the most, right? It's their homes that get vandalized and burned down and cars turned over. It's hardly ever the oligarchs, the rich people who are
which is very
influencing how difficult things can be in the country. It's always you and me.
Yeah,
and then then you get screwed over. Yeah. So that's a challenge with that. There are better ways to demonstrate, like what we're seeing yesterday and today. All right, I guarantee you that there is going to be a resolution. It may not be everything that everybody wants, but you don't want something like this to continue for long. And
there needs to be a resolution. And sometimes you do have to apply a little pressure to get that resolution to the table. So someone is texting and saying, yep, there's only one dental lab. Yeah, really? One? Yeah.
All right. So this text here, what is the head of the union waiting to strike union? She seems to be working for the prime minister, not the people. You're talking about the BUT? Not the people. 3.5 years is too long. Also, there is a TB outbreak. Where is this? Okay. Anyway. All right. So speaking of the BUT, so we were hoping to speak with. As we told you yesterday, there are other unions in education.
Right.
There's the managers union, and then there's the educators, counselors, and allied workers union, and they represent the teachers in Grand Bahama and a few others around the country, but especially the counselors, the guidance counselors. That is why they had the issue in Grand Bahama with all the public schools there were forced to close early because teachers weren't there. We had challenges here because some of the administrators were not at school yesterday. But as we told you yesterday, we got from another union leader that they're all speaking with one voice, and that Obie Ferguson is the voice as the head of the umbrella TUC.
Right.
And so it looks like our interview with the Beckeru president might not be happening this morning. So when we can get to speak with her, hopefully maybe sometime later in the week, we'll see what's going on exactly with them. But as that texter mentioned, Belinda Wilson with the Bahamas Union of Teachers, we read you her statement yesterday, or we played for you what she said in her voice note, warning the Prime Minister the time is going tick-tock to get these matters resolved. But she also pointed to a problem that the unions in the country, especially those under the TUC, are the various 3 umbrella unions now, and they don't see eye to eye. And but this is a very interesting warning to folks who are affiliated with the TUC. Take a listen to what Belinda Wilson had to say yesterday.
I really don't like to take on other trade union leaders, but it's paramount and important that someone takes on Obie Ferguson, because he prostitutes the unions that are under his Congress. And every time he raises an issue and you dig deep, there's a personal agenda for him. And yes, Mr. Ferguson, your porridge is now cold, so you're crying. You say you always meet with the Prime Minister, go meet with him and let him resolve your issues. It's the BNATUC and the BUT who cannot get an audience with the Prime Minister. He's your friend. So don't come crying to us. Your porridge cold.
Wow, some tough talk, some harsh language there.
Well, I like that. Your porridge cold.
It sounds horrible.
I know, right?
Cold and slimy.
Let me write that down somewhere. Wow.
Boy, well, again, I think this is the TC is going to get what they want out of this. I think there's going to be lots of work done to meet outstanding demands as much as possible following this action, because this impact will be felt.
Right. And it needs to be head off before it's no longer a rest day.
Right.
And it's actual.
Exactly. A strike, which he's saying this isn't a strike.
Right.
So it's just a rest day. Imagine if we were to go on strike.
Correct.
Right? Wow. So let's continue to talk about this. What do you make of what Belinda Wilson's saying? Is it been a major factor in the trade union movement in the Bahamas for decades? But is that what's happening here? Or are we still focused on the issues? Is that still the big thing here? Is it politics? What is it? Let's hear from you. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Good, and Happy New Year to you, and also good morning to your guests.
Same to you. Happy New Year.
I wanted to preface commenting on the Belinda Wilson note by pointing out that the laborers of this country have been at the forefront of the heated struggle for equity from the beginning of the struggle, whether it was in the Burma Road riot or the airport blockade or the 1958 general strike, and onward to 1967, when we had a pivotal moment when Sir Randolph gave his seat to the Progressive Liberal Party to form the majority rule. The laborers have been in the struggle from day one. And I think overlooks and forget the ethos of our society, where these people have always made sacrifices so that equity can advance in this country. When you make the mistake of overlooking that, it has a huge political toll. Belinda Wilson, my family and I were watching her last night, and one of the things one of the elders in the family said was that there's a uniqueness in the fact that Belinda Wilson is a straight shooter, in that she doesn't cut corners on what she says. And I think that mimicking what that elder said in the family last night, that there's a shortage of leaders in the country today who are always, they're not willing to just say things as they are, Just be straightforward in what you say. And I think that speaks to her success as the many victories that she's had with her union and the long time that she served with them. And I think a lot of other union leaders would do well to just say things, just speak the truth, be straightforward with your members, and be straightforward with the politicians. Don't cut corners with them. And I think that's the reason why she's saying what she's saying, because she more than likely has seen where the person that she's referencing has cut corners in her view, and that's why she's saying now that you've done that, your porridge is cold. I think that's a lesson for all of us.
Indeed.
Have a
Okay.
good one.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Good morning, caller on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Duquesa.
Good morning.
GNN. Dwight, I think you owe me an apology this morning, Dwight.
How's so? What's over what?
Because yesterday GNN was giving you a little history with Obi and the reason why it couldn't wait.
This again.
And you slashed me, man.
I mean, you're making
Melinda
it.
came along this morning and said exactly what I was
You
saying
were
to
bringing
say
up
to
old
yesterday.
stories. She's speaking generally. You're bringing up old stories, and you were gonna.
Yeah, but Dwight, in order for us to make an informed decision, like the last caller say, and Belinda say, it's time we be honest and upfront in order to make informed decisions in this country. That has gotten us nowhere. I don't feel no brief for Obi. You know why? Because Dwight, years ago, you was involved when we told Obi, don't do that. What you're doing is against all union policies. You ain't supposed to get in bed with no government for political favors. That is what he done. And like Ms. Wilson say, his porridge is now gone cold. It has gone cold. How come Obi didn't do anything when Sanders was in that mess? So I don't feel sorry for him, and he needs to resign.
But that's. But is that true? What you're saying? I mean, I don't know if it was true, but that he did do quite a bit, and there were a lot of things going on.
With Sanders workers, Dwight?
Yeah.
The VA guy go one.
That's a different story. They fired everybody, but that's
exactly. But so I don't feel no brief for him, and I agree 110% with Ms. Wilson when it comes to Obi. Obi used the Bahamian people workers to suit his own personal political agenda. Now you know that hospital, but I always talk about that. So he I guess everybody did say enough when it comes to the hospital. I ain't got to beat that dead horse.
Did you have to go there yesterday?
Yes, I was there yesterday, and the sister had to fill in. Sister Roca had to fill in because and a Filipino nurse had to fill in. Other than that, we had nobody.
But how was it for you? I mean, was it difficult? Was it more challenging than normal, or what was it like?
Well, yeah, basically, we had a little extra challenge. You would not even notice it, but for the matter of fact, that sister had to come on the floor, and then the Filipino nurse, she can't strike. So that's what saved the day yesterday, and I think she's the only one, according to a caller this morning, I showed up for work, Filipino, because she cannot take part in no strike. But things in the hospital rough. And I have kept Dr. Davel abreast of everything for the last 2 years, and he ain't doing nothing. I've kept him abreast and the nation. And one more thing, right before I go to question, these politicians really don't care about us, because I spoke personally to Miss Rule, Natasha Rule, and her mother Saturday, and Sunday. You remember who's Natasha Rule, right?
This is the lady who's attacked at the bus. Is that right?
Yes. I spoke to her personally Saturday and Sunday. And do you realize that up to Sunday, that her member of parliament and the Minister for Social Services have not visited that young lady yet in his constituency?
Oh.
Yeah.
But you think these people care about us? Anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Thank you.
All right.
Wow.
Wow.
Continue to call in, folks. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Toll free 242-300-5720. Again, going through those numbers that we heard from the Minister of Labor. I mean, this is kind of scary. 90%.
Right.
Of
90%.
the members of the Bahamas doctors union. I don't like to call
90.
it the junior doctors. It
Right.
sounds really, but anyway, yeah, 90%, 60% of the consultant physicians, that's the senior ones, more than 10% of the nurses. In Grand Bahama, 25% of everybody at the hospital is out.
Those are big numbers.
Yeah, 15% at Sandlands, 90% of air traffic controllers. I mean, that's crazy. All the public schools in Grand Bahama had to close.
Right.
And some challenges here in New Providence.
Yeah, they definitely need to do something before it escalates further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning to your co-host.
Good
Hi, good morning.
Well, my issue is not about the union and the situation. My issue is with the 5% reduction. I heard on the news this morning, after the reduction, now what they're doing, they're imposing to start fining individuals using the plastic bond bags now. They are going to fine them on the spot of $1,000. So I'm trying to figure out if they're reducing the VAT rate to 5%, and now they're increasing, they're going about now to fine individuals using plastic bags on the spot, to fine them $1,000 on the spot. So it's a makeup for that 5% that they're, and this is the government doing now.
I mean, that's
so they're fining people now for the plastic bags.
That's a reach, though. I mean, it's been many years since we banned them. What are you doing? Why are you still using them? Why are the stores giving them out?
Why do the stores still have them?
Yeah.
Are the
so
stores giving
that's-
them out, though?
Yeah.
Really?
Some.
Oh.
So why is it not fine?
Well, because people aren't
and
getting
make
it.
mandatory when it was done imposed from months ago, years ago.
Well, I mean, you didn't see them for a while, and then all of a sudden you're seeing them a lot now.
It popped back up.
Yeah, but I mean, they have to curtail the behavior, right? So send a
Okay,
strong
man.
message.
Good show.
Okay.
Y'all enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks a lot. It's nothing to do with the
I mean, if
VAT
they don't
decrease.
enforce the law,
I mean,
like, seriously, if you don't enforce it,
you got to do something.
right, if you don't enforce it, who paying attention to it?
Again,
So,
we
yeah.
are out there waving the flag about climate change and
right.
how we need the rest of the world to
Right.
get on board.
But
and
we have-
so you can't come around here and everybody's handing stuff in plastic bags.
But are they not the biodegradable green biodegradable bags?
You believe that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no
And
idea.
but still, what's it made out of? I mean, it's
I don't
gonna
know.
disintegrate into the soil, but what is it made out of?
I have no idea. But
So-
it doesn't take as long as the regular plastic. bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still
Mhm.
going to get in the soil.
Yeah.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight. I'm baby sister Quessa. I'm calling back from this morning, like the GNC. That was the Filipino nurse who showed up this morning, right? Dwight, do you all know what's the price for dialysis machines?
No.
Well, anyway, baby sister, you got to get my number so we could go through that. Because, Dwight, I still seeking justice. Today make 26 months, but I ain't going to get into that.
Please.
What my intention is to donate at least 3 dialysis machines to Cook Island, and then put 3 dialysis machines in the constituency of San Salvador. I talking about donating them, once justice is served. So, baby sis, I will get in contact and probably commission you to get in charge of what my mission is.
So
Once
Quest is
I
quite
see
confused.
justice.
She's wondering why you're calling her that and who you are.
I don't recognize your voice, baby.
How mommy? Jenny Dean is to think she's my mommy. And the God boykin, remember I said that?
Oh, okay.
year before
Okay.
last,
You know my
when I
mom
got to
well.
work,
Okay.
On the job.
Right.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you know you're talking, all right? You don't know me personally. but
Okay.
That's why I'm saying baby sis, right?
Okay. I got you.
So maybe through your Uncle Amos,
Mm-hmm.
I will send my number to you, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Good luck with that. It sounds like a very honorable and
Yeah.
wonderful thing to do. I don't think they're cheap.
They're
I don't
not.
think
But I
so.
wonder how many patients in those places for that service. I'd like to know, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's take this call. We've got your final messages before we have to go to the news. Good morning, caller on the air.
Yeah, Dwight, sorry for calling
Okay,
back. The gentleman asked a question just now because I've been trying myself to try and have those machines replaced because those machines, the expiration date on those machines have passed for some of them 10 times
What?
over. Yes. So
They have
they're
what?
that's why I tell you, Dr. Davel didn't do nothing. I don't want to sidetrack the conversation. Dr. Davel has done nothing. I didn't take pictures and videos and everything and send it to Davel. Those machines, we go in on machines, dialysis patients, faulty, but the machines cost about $25,000 to $30,000 depending on which application you get.
Yeah,
they go a piece. We need new chairs and all of that. But what he can do, he can get my number. I can leave it with you, all right, so I could bring him abreast of what's going on, especially when it comes to dialysis.
Okay. All right. Producer.
So I need you all to take my number.
Yes, producer, can you get his number? And yeah, thanks a lot.
Wow.
Okay, and let's take this call. Hi, good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free, 242-300-5720. Okay, some messages here. You look confused. What's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm dumbfounded because there's so many people on dialysis. The dialysis unit is full. People are 6 o'clock to all day till they close. There are people, so I'm dumbfounded to hear. And then if that's factual. Wow.
Okay. This is an interesting message. Do we have a list of all the foods that are going to be VAT reduced? Because I'm hearing frozen food is not included. That's crazy. Frozen and canned, they're all included.
He said cooked food, right?
That's the only thing at the delis.
Right.
That's the only thing that's up. So it's prepared food.
Right.
No, but
But
frozen,
outside of that,
canned
the reduction will
food.
be on everything else.
No, what wasn't clear if we didn't get it. I don't know. Did you get that on whether cat, dog, pet food was included? I'm not.
I felt it was across the board in the
anything
groceries.
that's food.
Right. I didn't know.
know.
But maybe they'll bring out a clarification because he did give until April. So
Right.
maybe during that period it'll be more clearly defined.
Yeah. This is a text for Belinda Wilson. In her one breath, solidarity forever. In the other breath, it's solidarity forever as long as she's in charge. Most of these union leaders are just like most of the politicians in their pursuit of power.
We salty.
That's rough.
Wow.
Prime Minister Davis. Wait, these are just words. This is not a. My Lord. Okay, I can't read that. That's just words. It's just not a
Okay.
sentence. It's just. Boy. Belinda Wilson is indeed a straight shooter, and you will find those who would probably find her problematic are among those who like to sugarcoat or are comfortable being strangers to the truth. I can appreciate a straight shooter regardless of who is the current government. Okay, yeah. This is in response to the caller. The member of parliament does not have to visit the person who got attacked in the bus. Would it be nice if he did? Sure. But funerals, weddings, Mother's Day, Christmas turkey, please stop dumbing down parliamentary representation.
Well, I somewhat agree. I do think that some representative, though, it may have been nice, like the person said. It's not a requirement, but it may have been nice. I believe a lot of pressure is put on people in leadership positions to be everywhere and do everything, and it is impractical. But there should be representatives of those people who are tasked with certain responsibilities. People just want to know that you care about them.
Yeah, somebody from the government.
Yeah,
perhaps.
just somebody.
Whether it's health or
I agree.
social
We need to change
services.
the expectation that the top person, that person is already, under a lot of pressure, has a lot to do. But if that person sends a representative or representatives comes, then that should be sufficient.
Yeah, maybe. Dwight, I told you that Prime Minister Davis needs to fire, and it's a long list of people.
Oh, gee.
Names are all here.
Everyone.
People he needs to fire. I don't know if I need to read these. But they're saying these people are not functioning.
I mean, everyone.
It's names.
I see.
It's
Yes,
names.
I see.
Oh, my goodness
Yeah.
gracious. Okay. Well, Dwight, have you noticed all the bushes everywhere are being cut down? And foreigners are on them building homes.
Really?
Is that right? In Nassau and all the Family Islands. Also, Freeport is on fire and there are no fire trucks.
What?
Does the government understand climate change and what causes it? Are we trying to end up like New York or Haiti? A lot of extremes.
Right. I'm like, how are they connected? But anyway.
I do see a story in the Tribune about concerns about fire engines.
Wow. How do we get there? That's the question. How do we get to the place where there are no functional fire engines? Did we only have one? Was it maintained? If it was not maintained, like what? How do we get to the place? That's insane. Any island, that's insane.
Wow. This is random text. It would be good if we had a national lottery instead of private companies that could have helped pay for a lot of things in this country. If we had a national lottery, they're saying. Okay. Uh-huh.
And if the money from the national lottery went to do the things that it should, that would be good.
Some of you really, really, really have a lot of time on your hands. These text messages. Oh, you sent that one twice. I didn't read it the first time because it's a stupid text, and you sent it again. Okay. If we follow the record of these people appointed that had the same position before, we wouldn't be surprised. This isn't Health Minister Darville's first rodeo. No doctor from either party that became a minister or PM has ever made real change to the day, from day to day, from the day-to-day hell that is PMH and the Rand Memorial Hospital. Wow. I'm convinced that someone in the PM's office is not carrying out the wishes of the Prime Minister. Okay. This person says that is a lie that Freeport's on fire. And let's take this final call before we go. Hopefully this is not someone who called 3 times already. Good morning, you're on the air.
Yeah, that's somebody calling.
Oh, my
Baby
goodness.
Sis.
Okay.
Baby Sis.
Oh, dear.
Hello.
What's happening
my
today?
number, I told you, but like the GNNC, them machines are needed and they outdated. See, I know that, but I didn't want to say all of that. The situation is, I'm making a pledge, Dwight. I said, once I be given justice, right, and you know who I am calling, did they make 26 months and they ain't answered my letter yet. So if you want my number, the producer, I give it to him, and Baby Sis, or I could get it to you through Amos. Okay?
Okay. Thanks
so
a lot.
The producer want to take it now?
Sure.
I'll wait and give it to him, Dwight.
Yes, that's
Y'all
great.
Have a nice day, man.
Have a good one.
Quit joking, man. They don't care about us.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Oh, boy. I think I'm going to do it. I think I need to join the line to take a rest day.
You don't need a line.
It's too late already, though. Huh?
You don't need a line.
I think
just
sometimes you just not.
And you're not supposed to give an announcement about it.
Well, I mean, they said over the weekend that they were not going to go to work for 2 days.
It's ineffective.
Oh, you sure? Okay.
It would be more catastrophic if there is no notice. So just don't show up. But you don't do that because we need you.
This message out of Grand Bahama. This is true about the fire trucks. There's only one being used at the airport. There are at least 3 all parked, not working.
Wow.
Rough times. But some people have all kinds of great Christmas gifts to show off on videos, though. So, you got a mixed bag in this country.
Yeah,
this is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
You might as well get used to me coming home a little late. Oh, I got work to do. I got a job, babe. I got work to do.
Are you craving that fresh, famous food, but don't want to break the bank? Wendy's has got you covered. You can now enjoy the $5 Dave's deal at all participating Wendy's locations. Enjoy a Dave's single, a classic, or spicy chicken sandwich made with fresh ingredients for just $5. So don't compromise on flavor just because you're on a budget. Wendy's always offers fresh, famous food at a great price. Certain conditions apply.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, mason strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
On Saturday, February 22nd, 2025 at 7 p.m., the Bahamar Convention Center will set the stage for an unforgettable celebration of 25 years of giving back and supporting healthcare education in the Bahamas. Experience a night of excitement with exquisite fine dining, captivating atmosphere as we come together to celebrate and shape a brighter, healthier future. Tickets are available now. Reserve your spot today by emailing dhfoundation@doctorshosp.com or calling 242-302-4640. Sponsorship opportunities are also available to show your support for this important cause. The Doctors Hospital Maya Rassin Foundation. 25 years of transforming healthcare and building a legacy. Don't miss this special celebration.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean. And this morning, we are talking about fraud and scams. The Securities Commission of the Bahamas noticing an uptick in these incidents. And here to talk about this, we're very pleased to welcome to the show Senior Manager of Enforcement, Gawain Ward, and Assistant Manager of Enforcement, Benson Russell. Gentlemen, great to have you with us. Great to have you back.
Good to be here. Good morning. Thanks for having us.
All right. So fraud and scams. Let's define this, and then we'll talk about why you're seeing an increase and how much of an increase we're seeing. What are we talking about here?
If I can just give a little background for the Securities Commission. The Securities Commission of the Bahamas is the securities regulator, and we are responsible for the capital markets, that's overseeing, regulating the capital markets, funds, the persons offering financial services, corporate services, and also for digital services providers. And so we have noticed over the years an increase in the number of scams, that particular area, there's no scams cover. any number of things.
Right.
And so as relates to persons losing their money to persons who are looking for, of course, a quick payday, and they're looking for it from your pocket, yours and mine. And so this campaign, the Investment Fraud and Scams campaign, Watch Your Money, and actually it's on our website, www.scb.gov.bs. Again, www.scb, Securities Commission Bahamas.gov.bs. And if you go on there, we have the campaign outlined on there as well. And so we've noticed this uptick, and we started the campaign in December, just last month. And we intend for it to run, I think, for an additional 30 days or so. So we'll end probably mid-February. And the aim is to arm the Bahamian public in particular with sufficient knowledge, we hope, to avoid scams. And we are here also to talk about some red flags that will help people to avoid those scams, which basically is people looking to get your money from you.
Right.
They use a ruse, and normally what we find is, of course, to people they trust. And so once any scammer can get to, and we trust that the person they trust is not the scammer themselves, but once they can get to someone, and one of the areas we find has been highly impacted by this are, for example, churches.
Oh, boy.
And so if you get to the leader of a particular assembly, naturally, persons trust that person, and it will take hold or take root in that congregation or that group of people. We refer to these types of schemes normally as affinity schemes, where they target persons of a particular background, race, religion, ethnicity, whatever have you. And so in the Bahamas, we find that that is one of the things that we've been noticing. And so we're trying to help people hopefully avoid getting into these scams and save more money in 2025.
All right, so you mentioned December. It's right before Christmas. Do you normally see an uptick around that time, or was this a noticeable increase over what you normally see?
So it's been over the years. For example, during the pandemic, we noticed a significant increase in the number of scams. Financial schemes, and I'll get to that in a minute in terms of what that entails. But during that period, our investigations increased hundreds-fold.
400%.
Wow.
400. Wow.
And so, comparatively, in 2024, we would have had about a third of the number of the investigations we had in 2020.
Oh, so it dropped a little.
It dropped a little, but it's still up there.
Yeah.
Because years prior to the pandemic, we would have had far less investigations involving financial schemes.
Oh, so the pandemic gave people time to cook.
Well,
their schemes.
to simmer,
right.
to do any and everything to get people. And most people are online at that time.
Right, you moved to online. Right.
All right. So, can you give us some examples of like some of the scams that that are out there that you've heard of?
So during the pandemic period, we noticed that there were scams involving ASUs. And so we had a number of people that were promoting so-called public ASUs, which, by the way, is not an ASU. That's just a Ponzi scheme.
What is it?
Explain
because what is a public ASU?
There's some
like,
good,
how does
decent
that work?
ASUs out there,
What
right?
happens is, I say to you, and in the Bahamas, we're familiar with the word ASU.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, at its basic level, is a circular group of people. In other words, money into a pot. So to
Right.
speak, all paying in at a certain point, and then each person in that group gets what they call the draw, drawdown, however much is put in, minus, of course, what that person would have
administration.
And so if you have now the so-called public ASU, where they go out and they say to persons, it's an ASU, throw in your hand. Let's say you're throwing in $100. And if you throw in 100, you'll get 1,000. And if you throw in 100, you'll get 1,000. But if you throw in 300, you'll get 3,000. And there is no end to it.
Right.
What you mean?
There's no end. It's not a circle. You just want to get more people in.
And so you're never told how many
But
people
you just
are a
get
part
the-
of this?
Oh, you'll never know how
You
many
never
people
know.
are part of it. As a matter of fact, if you are the progenitor of, or the person that
don't
actually
end?
started the... Well,
doesn't
it's a
end.
public ASU. And so anyone can come in at any time.
Right, I want to understand. When you say it
Well,
doesn't
I don't think
end,
you will.
you mean
I
that
think
it
you will
doesn't
understand,
end
'cause-
for the contributor, or it doesn't? Like, what do you mean it doesn't end?
So the scheme
The scheme doesn't end.
does not end.
Okay.
Okay.
But at some point, you tap out.
And when we first saw this, the first time we saw this, and it was amazing. The were told, okay, so 4 of us here in this room, right? And in normal ASU, that's 4 weeks,
Right.
Right. So
Or months, but sure.
Right, if you do it monthly, but that
Sure.
defined for something.
Yes,
Yeah.
Let's go monthly for the
Right.
for this example.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So it's 4 months.
Right.
What we saw was the 4 of us in this program. None of us know how many people are in the program, but you're in the program for 1 week, and you're told you can collect your money at the end of the week.
Okay.
So at the end of the week, you collect some funds.
Right.
So now I'm giving you your money.
Uh-huh.
You're pleased, and I say to you, let it ride.
So you technically don't get it.
Come back in. So you come back in.
That's another version.
that's another version of it, right?
So what if I decide I'm not going to?
Yeah, what did you decide?
What are they going to do? Are they going to take me out back and deal with me?
Yeah.
This is
Now, if you
hopefully not.
If you
This
collect
is
your
the
money
problem.
first, if
Right.
you collect your money 1st, right? You collect your money,
Yeah.
Right.
you win.
Right.
There's no more money for the rest of us.
What?
The likelihood of
Oh,
any person
wow.
or everyone continuing to pay or repay, should I say,
Right.
what you would already have received. Because you only give $100. So if you got 1,000,
Right.
you leave.
After 10
What's the
weeks.
likelihood of you
Right.
repaying that extra 9 that you would have, or that you should repay because others have to get?
Right.
That doesn't happen. But essentially, that's a Ponzi
But hold
scheme.
on,
A Ponzi
I
scheme
have a
works in that way.
question though. Who goes into ASU that has no end? Like there's no defined. This is going to be for 10 months. You pay $100 a month. At that time, you get paid. It over. It's done. Like
She's being very. I would have said, who's stupid enough to fall for something like this? But that's just me. I've got many serious problems.
No. We're not going to use that language.
right,
okay.
yeah. We're just gonna say like
Right.
We are going to say, unfortunately, very many of our fellow citizens have fallen prey to this. And I
You
would,
serious?
I would safely say in the hundreds.
Wow. But this is again based on the person of trust who told them this is a good idea.
It has a lot to do with that. It also has a lot to do with just word of mouth. Because if I come to you and I say, man, Dwight, I got $1,000. All I did was pay in 100. I know your eyes would light up.
wow.
Wow. I can go to the same person or the same set of persons and get a substantial amount of money, way more than I pay in. And I tell you what happened to me, with likelihood that you're not going to go and check it out.
95%.
You may not get involved.
For me.
You may.
Yeah.
The point is, it's going to attract attention.
Yeah.
The thing also, what we have noticed is that the appetite here in this
yes.
country for passive investment is very high, because the average person doesn't really understand how investment products work.
Okay.
So if you don't really understand this, and someone of trust comes to you and say to you, you put $100 here, don't worry about it, you can collect $1,000 later. Passive investment.
Right.
And a lot of people are attracted to that.
Right.
It's very attractive.
And I guess people are trying to find ways to get more money.
Correct.
Right. So
Right. We find that the attraction for most people is that the passive nature of this whole thing. So I don't need to go to some fancy school, have some fancy degree to understand all these fancy words about security and security guard and stocks and all this sort of thing. I put my money here, and I know that 2 weeks later, I put $500 someplace, and I got $1,000 back. I go and back that bell again. And you will find that has
that's
been...
the loss.
We're trying to help people
Wow.
avoid this sort of thing.
Okay.
Dry
So
month.
be aware.
January.
Right. Yes.
So December is one time. Right. Of course, people are looking for extra money to
Right.
Right.
go shopping and so on. January is another.
Yes,
Now
very
we've spent
long
everything.
month.
Right.
Now we have people looking around trying to figure out, how can I make something?
Get a little
from
closer to
this
the mic.
thing?
Go
Right.
How can I make something from this little bit of money that I now have? And so they're ripe, unfortunately, for persons who are looking to get an easy payday from them.
So is there any recourse for somebody who has been scammed? What can you do?
And so just to clarify what we were talking about a moment ago, for those persons that may be wondering, oh my God, is there something out there right now, this public aid suit? That is a trend. That's something we saw some years back. These days it's now crypto. That's the that's kind of the thing to get people to bite now. But prior to 2020, the Securities Commission would have had no recourse. We now do. The Financial and Corporate Service Providers Act of 2020, it was passed, and it now defines these scams to some degree. And they're called financial schemes. And financial schemes would include the Ponzi scheme, the multi-level marketing, I think most of us are familiar with, where you get in one person or three persons, and each of those three get an additional three under them, and so on, and it builds out.
And those are always
pyramid.
Not good.
So the pyramids are never
always
good.
not good?
Does not have a product or a service, and normally they don't. Folks may, just by way of example, they may remember Amway.
Right.
Amway had a product,
Yes.
a number of products, as a matter of fact, and they made their own products, and they got people to basically sell them.
Right.
And so that was a multi-level marketing system.
Okay.
And it was over here, of course, in the Bahamas, I remember, because my own parents used to be a part of it. And, we used the products, and they had issues themselves, even in the U.S., because they were sued for being a multi-level marketing system. Right. In some states, they just weren't allowed to operate. They had to do certain things to get past the issues that they found themselves faced with in those states. And so you can imagine now, you just have a pure pyramid system where there is no product or service. You're merely told, go, get two people, and make sure that those two people get two people under them each, and make sure each of those persons get people under them. And don't worry, you will make money because you will get money from those persons as they pay into this so-called scheme. Now, it's framed in many different ways, but one could learn to recognize it. Once you are told, go and get someone, and don't worry, you will get whatever you are through those people.
Yeah.
What?
Ask yourself what that's all about. That's one of the hallmarks, of course. Training, that's something that persons have been putting out there. In other words, and this is just by way of example, of course, Dwight, I am an expert trainer. I can teach you how to trade in crypto.
Right.
All you got to do is pay me about $5,000. You will get this package right here. By the way, you can't resell that package to anyone else because this is just for you. This offer is for you and for you only. And you can, when you're finished with this, you'll get your certificate, of course, because I'll give you a certificate. I'll run that up myself. Give you that certificate, and you go ahead and you can start to trade. Now, I will give you the area or the link to the trading platform. You may think it's real, but it, in fact, is not.
Oh, my goodness. And that is one that's happening.
That is something
You've seen
that
this.
we've been seeing as well.
Benson?
Let me add
into
is also
that.
one of the senior investigators, and so that is why I'm assistant manager. But he's been investigating these, and so he would, of course, know about these sorts of schemes.
Tell us more, because you were holding your head when he mentioned crypto.
Yeah, because people are saying crypto is the way to go.
So
what is
before Benson even gets into this, let's be clear on something. Cryptocurrency, it is intangible. It is not something, of course, most people are aware of this, I think, but there is no way to really tell what crypto's worth is other than people's demand for it. That's what gives it its value, if you will. There is nothing that backs it, absolutely nothing, other than people's interest and persons people that believe in it.
Yeah.
And that is what gives it the current value it has today. Dogecoin, that's another one that persons are aware of, but I mean, it's not nearly as valuable as Bitcoin. You don't have as nearly as many people buying into Dogecoin. Otherwise, it might be at that level. The one next to Bitcoin would be Ethereum. I think as most people are aware. Again, most people, they've poured their faith and trust into that, so to speak. And so that is something that people will buy into.
Wow.
But unlike the dollar, which is basically backed by a government, the guarantee of a government in most countries, you don't have that sort of backing for these other somewhat, I guess they're fast becoming traditional, but they're untraditional, unorthodox types of stores of currency, or stores of value.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, Benson Russell, tell us what you've been seeing, investigating.
Firstly, when it comes to digital assets, Bitcoin, and foreign exchange (FX). Right? We have at the base level, we have the trainers, persons who are, I'm going to train. I have a whole school. I have an academy. Come to my academy, and I will teach you how to trade these things. So they usually sign up for some sort of thing. There's a foreign person who will be on screen who will be telling you some information, and they usually let you go into a practice area where every trade you do is successful. You'll be in the practice room.
Sounds quite elaborate.
You'll be in the
right.
You
Setting
be
you
in
right
the,
up.
in the practice room, and you're making millions of dollars. I know one young man quit his job because in the practice room he was a millionaire.
Wait, you didn't wait until this was out of practice and actually applied.
His parents assisted him. They was like, "We doing this." So they were. So they go. So when you go live, like Mr. Ward said, we're talking about a very volatile instrument here,
Right.
Especially FX. Foreign currency is very volatile, and even the very best trained persons lose thousands of dollars on a daily basis.
Wow.
So here go you, Joe Belder. You don't know how this thing goes, but you're putting your money in, and the next thing you know, you're online and I'm trading. Look at me, I'm trading, and you start losing. And there's two ways to lose when you go live. First of all, you make bad investments. Secondly, the platforms where you play your trade are scam platforms.
Oh, wow.
We had a couple of those.
Yes.
We had a few
Wow.
persons who, I know a gentleman who lost basically his life savings through a scam platform. A young lady who came to us, and she was distraught.
Wow.
She lost a couple of dollars through a scam platform. The Securities Commission cannot tell you which platform is real, which platform is not real, but you have to do your due diligence. You have to check before you just don't go and put money into Dean platform because it named Dean platform and it has these pretty lights and check to see how many complaints have been made.
Right.
I guarantee you, if you search, say how many, just do a internet search. Are there any complaints about Dean platform? Here goes the list.
Wow.
Simple.
So, is there any recourse in situations like this when people come to the commission to say, "Hey, I was in this public issue," or "Hey, I did this this Bitcoin or this trading thing"? Is there any recourse?
So, all right. So, firstly, I think people need to be aware. Yes, and I'm not sure the recourse is one a lot of people would like, but it could turn out well for you, depending on whether or not the complaint is made. First of all, a financial scheme is, or it could result rather, in criminal prosecution under the Financial Corporate Service Providers Act. Fines up to $100,000 for anyone that breaches the act or is found promoting or persuading others to join a financial scheme. You can be prosecuted. Of course.
Has that happened as yet to anyone?
Well, there are matters that are currently with the police.
Okay.
That's the most we can say at this point.
Wow.
But persons have to make a complaint. That's the first thing. And we find that Bahamians are very reticent. They're reluctant to make a complaint about, losing money. For many people, I suppose, it is a little embarrassing. You don't want to say what happened and how you got into something that, probably shouldn't have lost money on. But we encourage persons to come forward, make the complaint. Again, that can also be made via our website, scb.gov.bs, as I would have cited earlier. On there, there's an Investor Center tab. You click on there and you can find the complaints form there. Also, you can call us, 397-4100, and you can make your complaint via phone, via email, via phone. You can come in, just make the complaint.
Right.
We would refer those matters to the police because they are criminal matters, and the police would have to investigate. But they would, of course, go through us, and we would address it accordingly, depending on the nature of the matter. The other thing is, when we have money via a scam, and this is worldwide, this isn't just confined to the Bahamas, the unfortunate truth of the matter is The sooner you get in, maybe you'll get something. But
Right.
scammers don't hold on to the money.
Right.
And so more likely than not, you may lose whatever it is you would have given. We don't say that, so people chalk it up and go, well, that's a loss.
Right.
Don't bother. No. It is always a good thing to ensure that others don't get caught up. And, it's not as if it's 0% you won't get anything back. I can't say that you will, but
Right.
the likelihood is very
small,
slim.
okay.
But by the same token, make the complaint so that something can be done and it can be stopped, the particular scheme, so that others don't get involved in it.
Right.
A word to the wise, only invest what you can afford to lose.
Wow,
Because
that's
what
good
Benson
advice,
mentioned just
too.
now,
Yeah.
you don't invest your life savings
Right.
into something that... An investment is not a sure thing. There are no guarantees when
Right.
it comes to investments.
Yeah.
And so this is why we figure it is best that people be made fully aware of what's out there, or as aware as we can possibly make them in terms of what's out there, so that they can avoid putting their money into something that, quite frankly, is useless to them.
Well, I have a follow-up question. Because, people are looking for a quick return.
Yes.
It wasn't so microwave wanty, right? Right now, it's just microwave. I put it in and take it out.
Right.
So with that, though, and the fact that this is global, are there any instances where there have been Bahamians who have been reported as scammers and not being scammed?
As a scammer, as a promoter
Right,
of
as-
a particular scam.
Right, as the person that engineered this situation, or is it only we need to be aware of foreign?
Yeah, there are. Yes. Yes. And so Bahamians need to be aware. This
The
isn't
land of the
confined to a
pirates. What do you
foreign person coming in and doing anything. Oh, no.
Right.
We have persons
Yes.
right
You have
here in the
Bahamians,
Bahamas.
okay.
that
Brilliant
actually-
masterminds when it comes to...
They start the scam themselves and they
Yes.
get persons
Because
involved.
a lot
yes.
of times we
Yeah.
think we don't do it to, like Bahamians
Bahamians,
wouldn't, right? So, but
Oh.
that's why I want to ask a
Yeah, no,
question.
that's a good question,
Because
yeah.
a Bahamian may come up to you and,
Yes.
so
Yes.
just, it could be anyone.
It could
that's,
be.
That's the message
And
we
have
want
both,
people to know.
Foreign and local.
Okay.
And so, yes,
Yeah.
we have that coming from foreign persons as well as from local
Okay.
persons. Yeah.
All right. We're talking with Gawain Ward, the Securities Commissioner of the Bahamas. If you have questions, you can text us 422-4796 or tweet us, Facebook us, or even call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. All right. So what about in investing in the stock market or crowdfunding? What are some things that people need to be thinking about when it comes to that?
So,
Gawain?
what persons should perhaps, well, let me go to a few of the red flags and then I'll, if you don't
Okay.
mind, I'll go to
Sure.
what you had mentioned a moment ago, the question you given me. And so some of the red flags, if it's too good to be true,
Yeah.
it normally is too good. And so that's something that should really make you take a step back from whatever it is you are planning to get involved with. If the returns are outsized, more than anyone has ever, somebody says, I gave the example earlier, $100 for $1,000.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
That's something that should make you take a step back and go, okay, the math doesn't work itself out. It's just, it's no way. And so outsized returns, that's another thing. I hope I haven't been speaking too quickly, but fast talkers, persons that come and they want you to do it now,
Right.
now. Get in on this now. Don't miss your opportunity. Do it now. Take a step back. Take a pause. Don't forget, it's your money.
Right.
And so keep it. Better you hold on to 5,000 than hold on to a promise of 5 million. Step back from that pressure.
Right.
High pressure tactics. That is something that persons need to look out for. Someone who, if you were to check, they have no background whatsoever in financial matters. None.
What?
But
you
there
see
are
them
whiz
online
kids,
and
though.
they're
Aren't there
putting-
whiz kids and people like, no? We hear those success stories all the time.
I would say, well, sure, I'm sure there are whiz kids, but now are those whiz kids regulated or licensed to do what they're doing? 'Cause that's the other thing.
Right.
But to
Are they
check that
regulated or
person,
licensed?
because
Yes.
that's the thing. We just take it on their word. So if that person doesn't have a background, and you do some research and you say, okay, but they see where ABC, so this could line up. But don't just take that person's word,
stop
do
that.
the research.
Exactly.
Right.
You don't ever stop there because I can put anything online.
Right.
I can tout myself as a financial
Yeah.
expert and you can go online and you will find me.
Right.
I put it there.
And
That's how it
the
works.
internet don't lie.
Yet people do.
Right.
And it's the people
Right.
that put media platforms because
Right.
we find a lot of persons are now getting drawn in by the WhatsApp messages.
Oh, yeah.
Text messages come via WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok.
Right.
Yeah.
All them.
Twitter.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember what the name was a moment ago. The X platform.
Right.
All of these are means by which persons are now being pulled in. And as the world has gotten smaller, specifically, as the world has gotten smaller, of course, you have a situation where scammers are just, they can do just about anything with anyone.
Right.
And so persons need to be very careful. We always suggest, in terms of due diligence, do your Google search and so on, but for Bahamians, you will want to make sure that persons are licensed or registered, call them regulated.
And you can
on
find
our
that
website.
on your website.
Check our website to see whether or not persons have come. The one I was thinking of, I mentioned earlier, where Bahamians scammed persons out of thousands of dollars, actually. That is one where had persons checked the website, they may have noticed that that person was not on our list of regulated persons.
Wow.
But that
Nor
one
the
check,
company.
But that's right, not the company. And that one check may have, made them take a pause
Right.
and not
Okay.
lost money. But it's one of those things.
So anyone that's doing that type of trading or business is required to be registered with you.
Yes.
Okay.
Once you're involved with anything that comes under the commission's remit,
Right.
i.e. securities trading, the particular person I'm thinking about, I think it was a fund or something along those lines, investment fund, if you want to set one up, that needs to be a regulated entity. You wanna
And
provide
regulated
financial-
means what?
They must come to the commission, see their license or their registration to function in the
Okay.
specific area that they have applied
And
for.
periodically, you're going to be following
Every
up
year.
on them.
Annually,
inspecting.
they're supposed to come in and renew their
Okay.
registration or license. They're supposed to they have certain obligations. They would,
Okay.
submit their financials, audited financials to the
Okay.
commission and
Audited,
stuff to make sure that their business is functioning and it's still a solvent or a viable business.
So before you invest in anything, check
Check,
it out.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Certainly that's
before
one of
you
the areas.
before you invest with them, ask them one question: where your license? They're supposed to show it to you.
Yeah. Okay.
They're supposed to have it they're supposed to be framed. Yes, it's supposed to be framed.
Okay.
So they're supposed to have it.
Right, that's right.
So if they don't have a license, end of conversation.
Right.
Does this come before you? GoFundMe? If people are, does it have anything to do with
Now,
your purview?
GoFundMe, that's a platform that functions elsewhere.
Yeah.
Persons, we wouldn't regulate GoFundMe, but crowdfunding is something that does come under the commission's remit within a specific context.
Okay.
I think most of you are familiar with RBAC and then there was that basically is for small businesses.
Right.
And so we have the small business capital rules, and persons that want to get money from small investors. So you have small cap, what they call small cap businesses. Basically, they can get their money that way. And so the other thing is
recently I've been seeing people. I've been seeing where, like, I guess it's like a payday loan type situation. Would that fall under you? And do we have regulated places that offer that sort of thing?
So that sounds like money lending.
Right, that,
So money
right.
lending does fall within the commission's remit.
Okay.
So persons that want to lend outside of the framework of banking, that would fall within the commission's remit. To be clear, money transmission.
Right.
Okay.
So we want to transfer or transmit money, that's Central Bank, Western Union, and all those
Right.
persons. Money lending, on the other hand, again, outside of the banking framework, small loans and so
Right.
on, that's the Financial and Corporate Service Providers Act, and that is where that would fall.
And again, you should look on your website to see.
Look
if
on the
this-
website,
Right.
please.
Okay. All right. Let's take these calls really quickly, and we got a few messages here. Good morning, caller. We're talking with Gawain Ward and Benson Russell with the Securities Commission of the Bahamas. Hi, good morning. Are you there? Good morning, caller. You're live on the air. Call us back, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. This texter's asking, where can you report scammers? They have the person's name here, who pretends to be, pretends to be a lawyer or own home or land that scam many people, including my mother, out of hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Now, that sounds like something for the Bar Association, because if you're talking about an attorney, anyone that has an issue with attorneys, as far as I'm aware, being one myself, you would make your report to the Bahamas Bar Association, disciplinary body.
Okay.
So the complaint bar association's office is there.
All right. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you all?
Doing well.
Listen, I'm glad you're having this show because lately a few friends of mine, be a small businessmen, we're finding out that the young girls are doing all kind of things on the computer and robbing us of our money. Somebody needs to warn these girls and somebody needs to be assigned to deal with these young, especially girls, because we found that only girls have been doing, or ladies. They're sending monies to different companies, and then that goes on to another company, and that company pays out. Now, the next thing, because I'm going through a case now with this. On the first
Everyone's
thing
very puzzled.
Yes, because I want to know more. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know I don't have the time. So I'm
okay.
just giving you a synopsis.
Okay.
Then on the back of that, they dash the national insurance, and they go there for unemployment. Then national insurance wants you to sign a form they send you saying that this person is entitled to unemployment. Now, my thing is this. Stealing is wrong. I don't care what law you write. You cannot correct stealing or get past stealing. And Mr. National Insurance, who claim they don't have any money, wants to pay these people up front before your case to see how they can finish billing your case.
Okay.
So really, these people know the system, and there really is no punishment for crime. That is why the country is the way it is, because they know once they get fired, they're at labor board, dragging you through labor board for stealing.
All right.
I
Thank
think we
you
found
so
a number of
much.
issues.
Yeah,
a lot of different
thank you
things.
so much.
Because we would, to address that, even begin to address it, we'd need more information because it sounds like there are some things there that, some things that are maybe missing in terms of, in order to get a full
that
understanding
scam, yeah,
of what
that
that's
one.
about.
Yeah.
Because at first
Wow.
it sounded like he was talking about pig butchering, which is something I think that's a phrase that
What's it called?
many people have heard. Pig butchering.
I've never heard it. What is it?
Okay, and so pig butchering essentially is, the name kind of suggests what it's all about. So you fatten up a pig in order to kill it later. And so in scam terms, basically you would befriend someone and you would continuously massage their ego, and it's all with the intent. And it takes some time. Some people can do it over a 6-month period, 6 years. But
Really?
They have time. Scammers have time. It's what they do.
Probably not even a young
like,
lady.
It's like the romance scammers. It could be a man.
70-year-old guy.
It's like the romance scammers.
Females.
Yeah.
Right.
He could have been talking
That
to a
can
dude.
be anybody, and you have cells elsewhere in the world.
Right.
I don't know about over here. I don't know of any over here, but
Right.
you do have cells. When I say cells, I mean a group of persons.
Yeah.
That is what they do. They engage in just having cell phones that they would use to contact persons wherever they may be. And it's very easy to do now, given social media platforms. You can harvest information like no one's business now. And you can contact them and you can make them think that they're anybody. They can be a female, a male. If you're a male, it'll be a female. If you're a female, it'll be a male. And so on. And they will talk to you. And they will not ask you, some of them anyway. They won't ask you for money.
They massage you
Not just
first.
yet.
Yeah.
But at some point, very comfortable with
Right.
the person. And again, they kind of fatten you up, as it were.
Right.
It's big butchering. And there's a point at which you give them money. There's a case, as a matter of fact, interestingly enough, at another show. This didn't happen here, but it's an article. A former law enforcement agent, he found himself the victim of a pig butchering scheme, where the person managed to get his life savings out of him, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I say this because it can happen to anyone. You're talking about a law enforcement agent who really should know the red flags. I guess he wasn't quite familiar with that specific kind of approach, because the person came to him, spoke to him, basically got into his head and got him to agree to invest in crypto. It's your cryptocurrency again. And he decided to invest. Because the person told him, well, I've invested and I've done very well. Why don't you do the same? He agreed, he invested, he lost all of his money. Because what he was seeing in terms of his investment, and he was seeing a screen that was showing him the investment was growing.
Right.
And as far as he's concerned, he had a lot of money. As a matter of fact, he had more than he started out with. That's what he was seeing. because that
Okay.
by the person on the
Right.
side of his screen. And when he started to ask about withdrawing, well, that's of course
That's the
when things fell
problem.
apart for
Right.
him. Person left, and that was it.
That's
Right.
what they do.
Well,
Right.
yeah, I mean, so that in essence,
my goodness,
that's big butcher.
That's rough. Boy. So the texture's coming back saying that the person isn't a lawyer. So I mean, they can't go to the bar. So that's what they're saying. Can't go to the bar
Go to
association.
Consumer Protection. Maybe find that out. I don't know.
Maybe the police.
Yeah, the police
can
would
the
be a
police
good
do
start.
something?
Yeah, that would be
They
a
want
good
to make
start.
a report to the police.
Wow. Yeah, the mother is on the verge of being homeless now after he tricked them and pretended to be a lawyer and
Oh,
took
pretended?
$120,000.
Go straight to the police.
Yeah, go to the police, but by the same token, pretending to be a lawyer is an offense.
Yeah.
And so, again, that is something that the bar would want to be aware of,
Right.
so they know who it is.
Oh, wow.
My goodness. We have time for one more call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Professor Dwight and
Morning.
Kamal.
Gawain and Benson. Gawain
Kamal
Ward
Newey,
and
man.
Benson Russell with the
You know,
Securities
I like
Commission.
I like the
I know Gamal Nuri, though, so okay.
Yeah, man, you did really treat you all on together because I'm very eager in this model. And so I'm afraid of outer space and cyberspace, right? Because everything could be erased. Now, you know, I had a call about a week ago, a very frightening call, and it is from Commonwealth Bank, whatever, center or whatever, and they said that activity detected on my ATM or debit card, right? And so the card was in my wallet. So I looked to see if I had lost someone attempting to use my card in the States. And I almost cussed. I couldn't believe it. So I was like, you know, what's going on? And then I called the call center, and they said that because the person is in the States, but no one has my ATM card number, and then I don't do no online shopping.
Right.
I normally let my oldest daughter do that. And she has an account just for that, so which is basically nothing. You put it there, and then you use it.
Right.
So with these type of models, what's going on in the cyberspace?
Yep.
This is why we need a parallel system of cash and cashless. You know, I mean, this is very frightening.
Okay,
for
so
someone
listen,
like me.
Gawain said something under his breath, but let him explain. This is even scarier than I thought. Thanks for the call. This is very
I
scary.
really appreciate that call. That's one of the things I think many people have experienced. I've experienced it myself. I received a call from someone early one morning claiming to be from Scotiabank. That's my bank. That's where I am.
Right.
And foreign accent. And so I, of course, knew it wasn't from Scotia. But interestingly enough, the number seemed to be a local number.
Oh, wow.
So bear in mind, anyone can get any number anywhere nowadays.
Right.
We are in an age now where, frankly, it's probably more my opinion than anyone else's, you need to question just about everything.
Yeah.
And he asked about my card, saying that some purchase had been made on my card. And interestingly enough, he wanted me to give him the code or the PIN.
Crazy. Red flag right there.
And so I laugh because if you're calling me from the bank,
right,
wouldn't you have all of my information?
Right.
You'll have my card number. You
Right.
will have everything on
Right.
the system. And you want me to what?
Give it
Verify
to
with
you.
you?
Right.
I said,
No.
no. And he hung up, of course, when I started asking him questions.
Right.
He hung up. And so be aware that you can get scam calls from anyone from anywhere asking you anything in terms of the information you give out, and understand that, frankly, I don't think any banking institution will ever ask you personal information. You call them.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the first thing.
Correct.
And they will then, of course, put you
Verify.
through the paces
Right.
in terms of verifying who you
Right.
are.
Right.
But they, are unlikely to call you and so on and so forth. These days, you have access to your own card, online access,
Right.
that is to say, and you can control your own activity via your own online access and so on these days in any event. And so calls like that, I find they're fairly common.
We also have on Facebook, especially on Facebook, we have these offers for loans. There's one going on right now where it's using two of our banks, where they have the person saying, okay, I just got a loan for X amount. It's very, very easy. Contact this person, you straight. So you contact the person, you give them your information, and of course there's a fee attached to getting this loan.
Oh boy.
Right. So yeah, that one has also come up
Wow.
Yeah, I really feel for this person. This is terrible. So again, saying that the police have gone to the police, the financial crimes unit can't help. It hasn't been very helpful because this person got their mother to sign over their retirement or something like this, retirement fund, and so she's basically out in the cold.
Wow.
I don't know. This is a terrible situation.
Wow.
Okay, we're running out of time. So, final words. I guess be very careful what you sign, definitely. But there are other things you need to keep mindful of. Remind folks about just the basics they need to be looking out for and how to keep themselves safe.
Basically, what you have to do is like Mr. Ward said, you question everything. Number one, you have to make sure that who you're dealing with is someone who has permission, a license, or is regulated by the commission to be involved in this space, right? Be very, very wary of individuals who are going to teach you how to make money because they themselves don't have any. So if they don't have any money, why are they teaching you how to make it?
Correct.
Right? Be very careful about passive investments where you just rest some money into an investment, leave it alone, and you get rich. There was one. There's one very, very, very large investment that has been going on for a couple of years now, where people have put their money in and they've been encouraged not to touch it. It ain't there.
Wow.
Wow. Someone I know got involved in a scheme and he lost everything.
This is just a stark reality, and so good information at the beginning of the year too, to put into perspective that everything that's presented to you doesn't necessarily mean that is what it is. To do the research, to take the time, don't feel pressured, because I've been in a situation like you talked about. Do it now. So that high pressure situation is a red key. Just know what to look for. So such good information.
Easy money don't mean easy money for you.
Right.
Definitely. Easy money means easy money
for somebody
else.
Someone else, right.
Yeah. So watch your money.
Yeah.
Remind us of the website and how to get more information.
So once again, www.scb, that's Securities Commission Bahamas, scb.gov.bs. scb.gov.bs.
Okay. Gawain Ward and Benson Russell, we could talk for hours, I believe, but thank you so much for being here and keep up the great work that you're doing in the Securities Commission of the Bahamas, getting the word out, getting the education out there. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, let's take a quick break and then we'll be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express. Or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit CFAL.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
Say Lampkin. Besides carrying all the roofing material needed to cover East End, Enterprises also has all the equipment needed to put it together and protect your workers. At Enterprises, we got hand tools, power and manual, including hacksaws, hammers, mauls, wrecking bars, well, hopefully they won't need them yet, drill bits, tapes, plumb bobs, levels, and more. We got cement, concrete bond and fiber, lime, sand, and P-rock. We got dust masks, safety glasses, gloves, hard hats, and high visibility vests. Lampkin, what we got here at Enterprises is a one-stop shop for builders.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, buddy. The Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow behemoth businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what I say, boy? You don't know what all the things saying too? What does do? Check the website once.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express, or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit CFAL.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The Department of Environmental Planning and Protection has begun a public awareness campaign on amendments to the Environmental Planning and Protection Act. These are going to allow for fines to be delivered on the spot by DEP inspectors and exempt small development projects from requiring a certificate of environmental clearance. That's according to DEP Director Dr. Rihanna Neely Murphy. She said that the public awareness campaign is necessary before DEP inspectors begin to issue fines. Neely Murphy saying spot fines of $1,000 depending on the infraction, which can include carrying out work without proper environmental clearance or accosting a DEP officer who is attempting to carry out inspections on a site. Minister of Environment and Natural Resources Von Miller says that the ministry is preparing to end the sale of charcoal produced by the illegal burning of wood in the backwoods of New Providence. Miller responding to questions from the media about the practice of wood burning for charcoal during a press conference yesterday. You can read the comments and read all about this in today's Guardian Business section. In your Market Watch, recapping trading of the BISX from Monday. Your market movers, Fidelity Bank moving 4,995 shares, closing at $17.45, up $1.45. Consolidated Water down 13 cents, closing at $5.11. Emir Incorporated down 24 cents, closing at $8.77. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,994.71, up 2.06. That's your Market Watch. That's your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Duquesa, you got a quick announcement today?
Yes. So we're inviting all cancer patients, cancer survivors, caretakers to join us this coming Saturday on Goodman's Bay. We're launching our Step Into Wellness program. It's at 7 a.m. at Goodman's Bay. We'll be taking through a guided exercise, breathing meditation. Come out and catch the fresh air. There's no charge, so come out and join us this coming Saturday, Goodman's Bay at 7 a.m.
Wonderful stuff.
Yeah, just look for the Jenny Dean Caring and Sharing Cancer Support Group logo.
Great stuff, great organization.
Thank
you for sharing that with us. And I'll see you again next week.
God's willing.
And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.